Chapter 704. Hua Leitang gathered everyone in his room. As the commander of this mission, he had his responsibilities. He had to control the overall situation and come up with a battle plan. This time, their team was a little special because the higher-ups had only assigned a 4-man special forces team to investigate. That alone was enough to give them enough attention. Later, when they found out that the victims of the Tianxiang massacre were all experts, some of them were even super experts. Only then did the higher-ups realize that they had underestimated the culprit. In order to make sure everything went smoothly, the original 4-man team was changed into 3 4-man teams with 12 super experts. This was the first time that Hua Leitang had seen the higher-ups deploy so many people at the same time for a vicious local case. When he first led the team on this mission, he was more or less dismissive. He was overconfident and thought that nothing could stop him. Only now did he realize how arrogant he had been. When Hua Leitang heard from Su Yin that their opponent was the underworld king, Leng Chun, all of his confidence crumbled. He finally understood that the higher-ups would not make meaningless arrangements, nor would they use cannons to kill mosquitoes. Even if the 12 of them worked together, it was difficult to guarantee that they could complete the mission perfectly. Their opponent was much more difficult to deal with than he had imagined. What do you all think? I want to hear it. Hua Leitang said. Things are more complicated than we thought. Su Yin is a member of the Dragon Fury team, so I trust him. But at the same time, I know that he has left the Dragon Brigade, so he is also someone we should protect. We have the obligation to do so. Qianfeng said bluntly. Let me say something first. First, we have to ensure the safety of the people. Our boss has said that Leng Chun wants the little girl from the Feng family. No matter what, we have to ensure her safety first. I will follow your orders for the rest. That's right. If we can't ensure the safety of the people, what we do will be meaningless. Yuanqing Emperor said calmly. I agree with Azure Dragon's idea. Gong Jiuxiao smiled. Then do we have to assign a team to protect the people? Shadow Dragon, you have to think this through. Su Yin made it very clear that our opponent is Leng Chun. Even the 12 of us might not be able to take him down, and you still want to split up. Hua Xiaolu was a little angry. Then what do you want to do? Ignore the little girl in danger? Just to ensure our own safety? Ma Tingfei was a member of Long Wei, so it was inevitable that he would support Gong Jiuxiao. If we can't even protect ourselves, how can we guarantee the safety of that little girl? I think we have to unite all our forces and ensure that we have the strongest fighting strength at all times. Only then can we complete the mission. If we can't even protect that little girl, how are we supposed to complete the mission? Qianfeng said disdainfully. I'm sorry, but let me say something. I think we need reinforcements for this matter, Xingzhe said. The higher-ups might not know that our opponent is so strong. Hearing Long Zhan's words, Heavenly Emperor Yuanqing's expression became unsightly. Song Long, we haven't even started yet. Why are you asking for reinforcements? This is an insult to all of us. I believe that the higher-ups won't underestimate the danger we face. Arranging for us to come here means that we have enough fighting strength to complete the mission. If it was so simple that we didn't need to spend any effort to complete it, then there would be no need for us to come here at all. We were established to complete the impossible mission. The Dragon Brigade raised us for 1,000 days just to wait for such a moment. Feilong, you're right, Gong Jiuxiao said. We were indeed born for such a moment. We exist to deal with difficulties. But you know very well that we can only guarantee the strongest fighting strength when we gather together. We can't spare any extra strength to protect others. Hua Leitang said indifferently. Then what do you mean? You want us to ignore the little girl who is in danger here? I didn't say that. Gong Jiuxiao said. While ensuring our strength, we'll do what we can. But now we really don't have the capital to divide our strength. If we can't even protect a little girl, what we do is meaningless. Qianfeng said bluntly. I don't agree. I think we must ensure the safety of the people here before we solve the problem. Gong Jiuxiao stared at Qianfeng and said. Do you think we need to protect here? That little girl has plenty of people protecting her. Su Yun, Lingu, Chou Yun. These people are not weaker than us, right? With your former boss here, What do you have to worry about? If you want to stay in the hotel because you're afraid of Lung Chun, I have nothing to say. Coward. Do you know how to talk? Mad Dragon. What do you mean? Qian Feng slammed the table and stood up. Calm down, everyone, Hua Leitang said sternly. He didn't want his own people to lose control first. Each of us has our own thoughts. Everyone thinks that what we did was right, but we have to find a common ground to solve this problem. This is the reason why I asked you to come to my room. I didn't ask you to bicker. Gong Jiuxiao spread his hands and said, You're the person in charge. You're the highest commander. You make the decision. Whatever you say, we'll do it. Shadow Dragon, the higher-ups put you in charge because you're more rational. I think you know what to do. Hua Leitang fell into silence. This was where he was at a loss. He had always been decisive, but this time, he didn't dare to make a decision easily. One was to weaken his own power to protect the little girl from the Feng family. The other was to protect his own power without thinking too much. No matter what choice he made, he couldn't feel at ease. Just as Hua Leitang was hesitating, Han Zhan pushed the door open and entered. He sat beside Hua Leitang. As his partner, he knew the man beside him best. You're the commander. No matter what decision you make, we'll obey. This is our duty. Black Dragon. What are you talking about? Qian Feng glared at Han Zhan. There's only one right choice for him. Han Zhan didn't avoid Qian Feng's gaze. Green Dragon, you only need to obey orders. The higher-ups put Shadow Dragon in charge because they believe that he'll make the right decision at any time. Not because they believe in you. Shadow Dragon is more rational than any of us. This is something that no one can deny. I know that you have feelings in it, and so do I. But I do. But I know that our duty is to obey orders. You have to understand. Qian Feng said word by word. That's right. My duty is to obey orders, but I'll never obey wrong orders. There's no right or wrong order. Han Zhan also said tit for tat. Tang Zhao, who was sitting beside Gong Jiuxiao, mocked in a low voice. I really don't know what the higher-ups are thinking. They actually let a guy who can't even handle his own people be our commander. This will only harm us. Han Zhan's cold gaze swept over Tang Zhao. Wind Dragon, if you don't want to be beaten, then watch your mouth. I'll only warn you once. Next time, I'll teach you a lesson with my fists. Are you threatening me? Tang Zhao said disapprovingly. I'm just telling the truth. Shadow Dragon asked everyone to speak their minds. This is what I'm thinking right now. I don't think he's suitable to be a leader. He doesn't even have the basic decisiveness. How can we obey orders? Everyone fell silent. Even Hua Leitang had to admit this point. Finally, after a moment of silence, Hua Leitang said, Does anyone else have anything to say? Emperor Yuanqing said calmly, I think that we need to ensure our overall combat strength. Only then can we resolve the problem quickly. Only by resolving the problem can we protect the people we need to protect. As long as Lung Chun is in Xinjiang City, he's not just a threat to the little girl from the Feng family. He's a threat to all the people of Xinjiang City. We can't ignore the dangers of others just because of one person's safety. Everyone's strength can't be divided. We have to concentrate. Qian Feng clenched his fists so tightly that they were about to explode. Hua Xiaolu couldn't accept this result either. However, their gazes were all focused on Hua Leitang. It didn't matter what the others said as long as Hua Leitang didn't make the same choice as them. I've decided. From tomorrow onwards, we'll concentrate all our forces and search for Lung Chun. Hua Leitang finally slammed the table. Hua Xiaolu sucked in a cold breath. Do you know what you're saying? Shadow Dragon. You can't make such a decision. If it weren't for the mission, I would have F*King blown your head off already. Qian Feng became even more agitated. Fortunately, Han Zhan stopped him in time. Otherwise, he would have already pounced on Hua Leitang and punched him. This wasn't the answer they wanted. Obey orders. Han Zhan roared as he restrained Qian Feng. Qian Feng lost control of his emotions. I'm here to listen to this bullshit because I'm obeying orders. Shadow Dragon, I'm obeying you because I'm giving you face. I'm doing it so that others can obey you. But look at what you've done. You're a piece of trash. You've always wanted to prove that you can do better than our boss. Let me tell you now, you're not even F**king worthy of being compared to him. You're a piece of trash. Han Zhan pressed Qianfeng directly against the wall and shouted at Hua Xiaolu. Come over and help hold him down. Although Hua Xiaolu was extremely unwilling, he still went forward to help Han Zhan restrain Qianfeng. No matter what, the team couldn't become a pile of loose sand. If there were only people from the Dragon Fury team present, he would have helped Qianfeng teach Hua Leitang a lesson. T-Rex, touch me again if you dare. Qianfeng said angrily. Whose side are you on? Do you have a problem with them too? You're throwing a little girl we should be protecting to the side to do something. Is this what our boss taught you? Hua Xiaolu forced himself not to listen to Qianfeng's words. He was afraid that if he listened too much, he would lose control of himself. Black Dragon. King, let go of me. I usually respect you because I think you're a man. I think you're the same type of person as our boss. Qianfeng roared. But you've disappointed me too much. Han Zhan used all his strength to restrain Qianfeng. Azure Dragon, calm down. Calm down. Boss wants me to tell you something. He wants me to tell you that obeying orders is the duty of a soldier. If you're still a member of the Dragon Brigade, or a member of the Dragon Fury team, you should obey orders. Chapter 705. Hua Leitang suddenly pulled out a gun from his waist and stepped forward to point it at Qianfeng's forehead. I dare you to insult the Dragon Brigade and the Dragon Fury team one more time. Do you believe that I won't shoot you? Shoot me. I don't F**king like you. Shoot me. Coward. Coward. Bastard. All the repressed emotions in Qianfeng's heart exploded. Of course, these repressed emotions were also deeply apprehensive of Leng Chen. If it weren't for the fact that he was apprehensive of Leng Chen's strength, he wouldn't have such a big reaction. Azure Dragon, calm down. No one's decision is wrong. It's just that we have different standpoints. But our goal is the same. Han Zhan was still trying to control Qianfeng's emotions. We all hope that everything will be safe and smooth. Every decision is to solve the problem. No one is a coward and no one will run away. Do you understand? You have to obey orders. Qianfeng laughed coldly. Obey orders? That's right. That's my duty. But I will never obey someone who points a gun at my brother's head. Threatening me? I'm the same as you guys. Every day in the Dragon Brigade, I'm prepared to die for the country. Death is nothing to me. Trying to scare me? Forcing me to submit? Not a chance. No one wants to force you. Han Zhan's brain was about to explode. He tried to control Qianfeng, who had lost control, while trying to persuade Hua Leitang. Captain, put the gun down. Yuan Qingdi saw that the situation was getting out of hand, and quickly tried to persuade Hua Leitang. Shadow Team, no matter what, put the gun down first. Qianfeng is just being a little impulsive. Wait for him to calm down. This won't solve the problem. I'm not being impulsive. Qianfeng was determined to make things difficult for everyone. You all think that way. You're all cowards. Hua Leitang, I'm telling you. If you don't shoot, then pray that he keeps holding me down. Once I'm released, the first person he kills will be you. When Hua Xiaolu heard Qianfeng's anger, he had no choice but to quickly remove the gun from Qianfeng. He supported Qianfeng in his heart, but he couldn't be as crazy as Qianfeng. He maintained his rationality. Hua Xiaolu, you're also a fucking bastard. Qianfeng saw that Hua Xiaolu had disarmed him and glared at him coldly. I treated you as my brother for more than 10 years, and this is how you treat me. Good. You and them are all jackals of the same tribe. Thank you, assist. Hua Xiaolu was stunned. He began to doubt whether his beliefs were wrong. Anger can't solve anything. Han Zhan interrupted Qianfeng. He didn't want Hua Xiaolu to be affected by Qianfeng and become the second person to lose control. Even if Su Yin was here, he would still ask you to follow his orders. Qianfeng, look at me. Look into my eyes. Tell me you'll calm down. Calm down. Let's sit down and talk. Let's talk. You've already decided. What's there to talk about? Qianfeng said, he's going to shoot me. Why should I calm down? Hua Leitang finally put away his gun. He said to Han Zhan calmly, "Black Dragon, let him go. He's not feeling well. He wants to vent. If venting makes him feel better, then let him vent on me. But, let him go. This is an order." Hua Leitang's eyes were firm. Because Qianfeng's gun had been taken away by Hua Xiaolu, Han Zhan tried to loosen his grip on Qianfeng. Gong Jiuxiao and the Dragon's Prestige Special Forces watched the internal conflict without saying a word. No one knew what they were thinking. The Dragon's Prestige Special Forces were also very dull. Other than the captain, Yuan Qingdi, no one else knew how to intervene. Finally, Han Zhan slowly let go of Qianfeng. "Calm down. Calm down." When Han Zhan's hands completely let go of Qianfeng, Qianfeng suddenly jumped up and punched Hua Leitang's face. Although Qianfeng's punch was sudden, with Hua Leitang's strength, even if he couldn't dodge it, he could still block it. However, Hua Leitang didn't. He let Qianfeng's heavy punch hit him without any intention of dodging. "Are you crazy?" Han Zhan hugged Qianfeng from behind again. "I told you to calm down." Qianfeng's anger was released along with the punch just now. He didn't understand why Hua Leitang didn't dodge, but he wouldn't forgive Hua Leitang because of this. "You know you're asking for a beating? Green Dragon, I know you're depressed. If you can vent your irrationality on me, then calm down and talk to me. I'm willing to accept it," Hua Leitang said. "Han Zhan, let him go. Let him do it. He can only solve the problem by venting." Han Zhan couldn't do anything at all. He really hoped that Su Yun could come over and take control of the situation now. Qianfeng struggled to break free from Han Zhan's arms. He walked in front of Qianfeng with a cold gaze. The tip of his nose was about to touch Hua Leitang's, but this time, Qianfeng didn't make a move. His voice was low and powerful. "Hua, I'm not playing anymore. From now on, I'm not a member of Dragon's Fury, nor am I a member of the Dragon Brigade. I quit. This way, I won't have to follow your *T orders. What do you want?" Hua Leitang asked. "From now on I'm Mi Qianfeng." Qianfeng said, "You've taken the gun. Do you still want the clothes? If you still want them, I'll go out and borrow a set of clothes now and return them to the army. From now on, I have nothing to do with you anymore." Han Zhan pushed Qianfeng fiercely. "When are you going to stop messing around? Can't you calm down a little? Do you think the Dragon Brigade is a place where you can leave as you wish?" Qianfeng turned back expressionlessly and said, "That's right. I know the Dragon Brigade isn't a place where I can leave as I wish, but I'm going to leave now. If you want to stop me, there's only one way, and that is to shoot me dead." Qianfeng was definitely not joking. Hua Xiaolu knew him the best. He knew that Qianfeng was serious. "Are you crazy? You're the crazy ones." Even if it was his little brother who was so close to him, Qianfeng didn't give him any face. "I won't be polite to anyone who dares to stop me. You can either shoot me dead or let me go. It's your choice." After that, Qianfeng walked to the door without looking back. Hua Leitang was completely caught in a dilemma. Gong Jiuxiao frowned. The consequences of leaving the team without permission are very serious. "Green Dragon, don't force us. Shoot me if you dare." Qianfeng still didn't look back. "Shadow Dragon," Gong Jiuxiao shouted. Hua Leitang punched the wall heavily and let Qianfeng walk out of the room. Han Zhan gave Hua Xiaolu a look. Hua Xiaolu immediately chased after him. However, when he reached the door, Qianfeng turned around and kicked him heavily to the ground. The blood at the corner of Hua Xiaolu's mouth was enough to prove that this guy didn't show any mercy. Even so, Hua Xiaolu couldn't give up on his brother who had gone through life and death with him. He got up and chased out of the room again. However, he saw Su Yun blocking Qianfeng's way in the corridor. Phew. Hua Xiaolu finally let out a sigh of relief. The only person who could make Qianfeng calm down now was probably Su Yun. "Boss." Qianfeng looked a little dazed when he saw Su Yun. Although he didn't want to believe it, he had to admit that his actions were absolutely wrong. Slap. Su Yun raised his hand and slapped Qianfeng, leaving 5 deep fingerprints on his face. "Do you know what you're doing? Do you know who you are? Are you still yourself? I don't want to admit that the Special Forces members under me are like you." Qianfeng didn't say anything. He silently endured all of Su Yun's accusations. In this world, The only person who could make him so calm was probably Su Yun. Boss, I don't remember how many times you've saved me. You gave me my life. You can do whatever you want with me. After a moment of silence, Qianfeng finally opened his mouth. You taught me that no matter what danger there is, protecting the interests of the people is our top priority. Now you're the people. The little girl from the Feng family is the people. However, the people in the room ignored you in order to protect their own combat power. I can't obey this order. If there's no solution, I can only quit. Su Yun said coldly. Don't find excuses for yourself. No reason can be a reason to disobey a military order. Yinglong has his reasons. He's your captain, your commander. You have to obey his orders. Qianfeng looked at Su Yun with suspicion. Even if he doesn't care about your safety, I still have to obey? Let's go and have a drink with me. Su Yun stepped forward and put his arm around Qianfeng's neck. He directly brought him to the elevator. Su Yun hadn't been to the bar on the top floor of Xingkai for a long time. Hua Xiaolu returned to the room. Hua Leitang's head was buried deep in his knees. No one knew what he was thinking. Seeing that only Hua Xiaolu came back, Han Zhan frowned. Where's Green Dragon? Boss took him away. Hua Xiaolu said. No one can persuade him now. Only Boss can control his emotions. I believe he'll calm down. We need to give him time. Shadow Team, I know that you have a reason for every decision you make. You don't have to doubt your leadership ability. Hua Xiaolu was very clear about the current situation. If they couldn't let Hua Leitang establish his authority, this team would be in trouble. At least now he could feel that the people from Dragon Fury Team and Dragon Fury Team had begun to doubt Hua Leitang's leadership ability. After all, the people who opposed him just now were their own people from Dragon Fury Team. Han Zhan patted Hua Xiaolu's shoulder. He knew that this kid was like him. Although he didn't agree with Hua Leitang's decision, he still forced himself to obey. Everything was for the sake of the overall situation. Since the higher-ups chose to believe in Hua Leitang's leadership and judgment, they had to believe in him without hesitation. This was a soldier. This was their duty. Obeying orders was definitely not just a saying. It was their belief. They had to give up everything for their beliefs. Any order, even if their lives were threatened, they had to be resolutely obeyed. Steel-like discipline wasn't innate for no reason. It was established through the actions of generations of soldiers. No one could destroy it. Even if he had enough reasons to doubt, he couldn't do that. Chapter 706. Su Yun brought Qianfeng to the bar on the top floor of Xingkai Hotel. The last time they drank here was with Yifala. Su Yun needed to deal with Lung Chen's threat as soon as possible, and then take Bufifan to see Yifala. Su Yun had already realized that something was wrong with Bufifan. He also knew what Bufifan wanted to do. So he needed Yifala to interrupt Bufifan's terrifying thoughts. If you have anything to say, finish this glass first. Su Yun saw Qianfeng's lips tremble slightly. He raised his glass and said, You need to calm down, but I don't have a good way to calm you down. Don't worry, drink. I know how much you can drink. You even violated the discipline of the order, so you shouldn't mind making another mistake of drinking during a mission. Qianfeng admitted that at this moment, he felt much more relaxed. He raised his glass and lightly touched it with Su Yun's. Then he tilted his head back and drank the entire glass of Royal Salute. The spiciness passed through his intestines, and Qianfeng gradually regained his sense of existence. He really did lose control just now. Do you not know how to say what you wanted to say just now? Su Yun smiled and poured Qianfeng another glass. I'll say it for you. You want to say that everything you did was to ensure Guoguo's safety. You think that Shadow Dragon's decision was a big mistake, because he didn't put Guoguo's safety first. Qianfeng nodded. Boss, I definitely didn't do this because Guoguo is your goddaughter. No matter who it is, even if it's someone who has nothing to do with you, I can't let Shadow Dragon put them in danger and ignore them. Su Yun shook his head. You're wrong. You misunderstood Shadow Dragon. We all know what kind of person he is. Master made him the leader of the Dragon Fury team after I left. This is the best affirmation for him. He's not the kind of person who would throw the interests of the people to the back of his mind. He is different from Gong Jiuxiao. Qianfeng didn't understand why Su Yin said that. He could only pick up his glass and continue drinking. If it was the other normal people who were in danger today, I believe he would not have made such a decision. He would have sacrificed his own team to protect the interests of the people. Su Yin said, but it's different this time, because I'm the one who's in trouble. He didn't sacrifice your team's strength because he trusted me. Do you understand? But Su Yin waved his hand, motioning for Qianfeng to let him finish. He believes that I have the ability to protect him. He believes that I can share his burden. Even though I'm no longer a member of the Dragon Fury team, he still treats me as a brother that he can trust. We're all brothers who have gone through life and death together. He believes in me, so I have to believe in him too. Qianfeng was silent. He didn't say anything else. Perhaps he was wrong. I hope you can believe in him as much as you believe in me. Su Yin said, when I returned to the army last time, you promised me that you would support Dragon Fury. Why did you change your mind this time? Do you know why? Because you think that I'm here. You think that as long as I'm here, I should be the one giving orders. When Su Yin pointed this out, Qianfeng realized that he really thought so in his heart. It was just that he didn't realize it himself. Don't continue to do stupid things. Su Yin said, I can tell you with certainty that you left the team without permission today. Dragon Fury has the right to kill you directly. But he didn't do so because he chose to believe in me. He believes that I won't let things continue to get out of control. He believes that I can make you understand what you should do. Isn't such a person worthy of your trust? Qianfeng gulped down another mouthful of wine. Su Yin's words were like sharp knives stabbing into his heart. Your mistakes can be made up for. Try to believe in Dragon Fury's decisions. He's much more mature than you. He considers things more thoroughly than you. Even T-Rex understands this. Why can't you understand it? Su Yin said. Now is the time when Dragon Fury needs prestige. Without prestige he can't lead your team. But you destroyed his prestige at the most critical time. I was wrong. Qianfeng finally lowered his head and admitted it. Su Yin raised his wine glass and took a sip. Everyone makes mistakes. What we need to do is to make sure that when we realize our mistakes, we immediately make up for them. Qianfeng's expression was very helpless. What should I do? Boss, I'll listen to you. What do you want me to do? What you need to do now is not listen to me, but listen to your captain, Huoleitang. Su Yin said. Go back and tell him that his decision is correct. Qianfeng fell silent. After drinking 2 glasses of wine in a row, the entire bottle of Royal Salute was emptied. Su Yin had no intention of opening another bottle. Now wasn't the time to let Qianfeng drink too much. Alcohol wasn't good. Drinking too much could make people lose their minds. But sometimes, it could also refresh the mind of someone who had lost their rationality. Su Yin didn't say anything else. He just quietly looked at Qianfeng, waiting for him to make his choice. I know what I should do. Qianfeng stood up and left the top-floor lounge of Xingkai Hotel. Su Yin didn't go downstairs with him. He stood on the top floor and looked down at the entire Xinjiang. Where was Leng Chen hiding in such a big city? Although the night view of the city was beautiful, Su Yin didn't have the leisure to enjoy the night view as long as the threat of Leng Chen didn't disappear. Qianfeng returned to Huoleitang's room. Everyone was still there because Huoleitang hadn't said that the meeting was over. Although some people were unhappy with Huoleitang, they didn't leave because Gong Jiuxiao and Emperor Yuanqing still had to give Huoleitang some face. When Qianfeng stepped into the room again, it more or less caused everyone to be surprised. Was there still going to be a show? The big stone in Hua Xiaolo's heart finally settled. Qianfeng's return meant that boss had taken care of it. Phew, luckily Su Yin stopped it in time. Otherwise, who knew how much worse things would have become? Shadow Squad. Qianfeng came in front of Huoleitang. I was too impulsive just now. If you want to punish me, I hope that you can wait until I return to the army. Right now, I just want to finish this mission as soon as possible. I'm very sorry for what happened just now. I know that I was wrong. I'll accept any punishment. Huoleitang suddenly stood up and hugged Qianfeng. At this moment, he suddenly felt that prestige wasn't important anymore. What was important was that he didn't lose a brother who went through life and death with him. Han Zhan let out a long sigh. He didn't dare to imagine what would have happened if this matter hadn't been resolved. It's not your fault. It's mine. Hua Leitang whispered to Qianfeng. But I don't have a choice. I trust Su Yin, so I hope that we don't betray his trust. I have to grab hold of all the power I can gather. This is the only hope we have to deal with Leng Chun. Gong Jiuxiao was a little bored. The farce had ended in such a way. Shadow Squad, if you two brothers want to be unreasonable, can we go back now? Before Hua Leitang could say anything, Han Zhan said, No one can leave without orders. Brother Black Dragon, are you joking with me? Do you still need orders? It's obvious that there's nothing left. Gong Jiuxiao smiled disdainfully. Shadow Squad's prestige hasn't been lost because of this. That's enough. Why? Do we have to show our loyalty? I don't know about you guys, but I think that my men and I need to rest. Han Zhan knew that Qianfeng's farce would cause trouble. Yuan Qingdi also stood up and said, Shadow Squad, we do need to rest. We traveled such a long way to Xinjiang, and our opponent is Leng Chun. If we don't get enough rest, I'm afraid that we Dragon Brigade's people aren't that delicate, right? At least we Dragon's Fury's people aren't that delicate, Hua Xiaolu muttered to himself. Not sleeping for 3 or 5 days counts. Phew, so the Dragon Brigade has such delicate special forces. Now was the time for Hua Leitang to establish his prestige. Qianfeng had to pick up the prestige he had lost. Shadow Squad, I don't know what reason we have to sleep in the face of such great danger. Actually, the first thing we should do when we arrive in Xinjiang is not to stay in a hotel, but to go to the scene directly. This is my mistake, but I need to correct it immediately, Hua Leitang said. Hua Leitang said, Everyone has one. Get ready to set off now. Let's check out Tianxiang Fish Restaurant first. Don't miss any clues. No one is allowed to act on their own. We must ensure our team's combat ability. After we enter Xinjiang, we have to be in a constant state of preparation and be ready to fight at any time. Shadow Squad, you don't care about this night, right? Gong Jiuxiao asked. Your former captain offered such good conditions. Wouldn't we be letting him down if we didn't take it? Hua Leitang's gaze was firm. We came to Xinjiang for a mission, not to enjoy ourselves. Leave now, this is an order. Qianfeng, who had disobeyed the order just now, had come back to admit his mistake. Of course, no one would try to disobey the order now. Brothers, get ready to work. We don't have the life to enjoy ourselves in this line of work. Although Gong Jiuxiao complained, his feet did not slow down at all. Su Yin watched from the rooftop. When he saw Hua Leitang leading the team out of the hotel, he was relieved. His prestige was still there, and his words still held weight. He could ensure that the entire team could carry out their mission. As long as they could carry out their mission, anything was possible. The special forces had left, so he should go down to ensure the safety of the others. When Su Yin went downstairs to the guest room to say goodnight to everyone, he felt that something was wrong. It was as if something was missing. Finally, when he saw Guogua, he realized that Bufifan was missing. After asking around, he realized that no one had seen him. Lin Gu rushed into Bufifan's room, but only saw a note left on the bed. He picked up the note and glanced at it. His expression changed instantly. Brother, that kid left this. A strong sense of foreboding arose in Su Yun's heart. He knew that what he had been worried about had finally happened, but he didn't dare to believe that it would happen so quickly. He felt that even if Bufifan wanted to leave, he would at least wait until he met with Yi Fala before leaving. The handwriting on the note was very clear. Old Su, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for leaving without saying goodbye. First of all, I'm not leaving because I'm afraid of death. I want to become stronger and not be a burden anymore. I'm going to find the place I need. Please believe that when I come back, I'll be strong. Guogua, when I'm not around, you must listen to Auntie Shuang. I'll bring you a gift when I come back. Also, I want to thank everyone for taking care of me. Thank you sincerely. I left a bank card in the bedside drawer. There's 38 million in cash. Old Su, take the money and buy Dan Jiahao a new house for his wedding. Oh, and little Dongbei. He saved our lives. I want to repay him by buying him a house. This is all I can do. Please allow me to say sorry again. Goodbye. Chapter 707. Soo-yeon's fingers trembled slightly, and he crumpled the note into a ball. The problem he had long realized had finally happened. Yi-Fala trusted him, and that was why he had entrusted Bufifan to him. But now he had betrayed the trust of others. This feeling was really bad. At this moment, Soo-yeon's depression was indescribable. I'll go out and look for him. Maybe he hasn't gone far. Maybe I can catch up with him. Chang could only do his best to make up for what had happened. Soo-yeon had emphasized to them that they should keep an eye on Bufifan. But now Bufifan had left quietly. This responsibility was on him. Lin Ge frowned. I'll go look for him. He left with a premeditated plan, so he wouldn't leave a trail for others to follow. You guys are wasting time. I'll try my luck. Maybe I can find him. Soo-yeon finally spoke. Pigeon, you can't leave the hotel casually. Everyone here needs protection. The special forces have already gone all out to track down Lung Chen's whereabouts. It's because we are here that they don't have to worry. If you leave, you will put everyone here in danger. Yes, let's go. At least there's always hope. Dan Hongning said. Brother Yin, don't worry. We'll do our best. Lu Feng nodded. Yes, at least there's still hope if we go. No matter what, Bufifan is just a child. He can't escape from those places. The bus station, the high-speed rail station, and the airport. If we split up and look for him, there's definitely hope. Okay, I'll go to the bus station. The bus station has a flow of water. It's more flexible and has more choices. Maybe he'll choose there. Kong Zhong took out the car key from his pocket. He hasn't left for long. If we drive faster, there's still a lot of hope. Dan Hongning nodded. Then I'll go to the airport. He's playing big this time. He'll definitely find a place far away. The airport is also very likely. Then I'll go to the high-speed rail station. The high-speed rail is also very flexible. It can go up north or down south. It's also very fast. It's the best choice of transportation to leave Xinjiang. After Lu Feng finished speaking, he immediately prepared to leave. There were many things that they couldn't help with, so when it came to things that they could do, they would definitely do their best. I'll go take a look nearby. Maybe he's just on a whim and hasn't gone too far, Dan Jiahao said. I'll go with you. Liangshan also felt that it was necessary to look around nearby. Little Dongbei, do you want to come with me? Bai Liang nodded. Of course. I'm fast, so I'll be in charge of the east and south. I'm familiar with both sides. I'll leave the west and north to you guys. Everyone left the hotel one after another, and chased in the direction they thought was right. At this time, Qin Wan'er finally said, Actually, I can go to the bureau to mobilize the police force to investigate, and use the fastest speed to block the airport, the station and other places. Soo-yeon, I want to ask for your opinion. If possible, I will call the bureau now. No need. Soo-yeon interrupted Qin Wan'er. Even if I were to report him missing, it would still take 48 hours. Besides, I'm afraid the police don't have the energy to deal with this kind of thing right now. I don't want to embarrass you in the police station. Moreover, he wasn't missing. He was the one who wanted to leave. Whether it's the station or the airport, I believe they won't be able to find him. Based on my understanding of Bufifan, if he wants to leave, he will use an unconventional method that we can't think of. If he wants to leave, he has made a very serious decision. No one can stop him. Even if we can find him, he will still leave again. Wan Qingshuang shook her head in disbelief. Are we just going to ignore him? He has always been a man. A man will always make his own decisions. Soo-yeon said. I know where he wants to go after leaving. Although I don't know if his choice is right or not. And I know that if he really goes to that place, it will be very dangerous. I still respect his choice. I respect a man's choice. Guogua opened her mouth in surprise. Daddy, you know where little brother Bu wants to go? Yes. Soo-yeon nodded. He wants to become stronger, strong enough to protect you. That's why he chose to leave temporarily. Don't tell me he wants to go to the hunter school? Cho Yen frowned. Soo-yeon, his decision is definitely wrong. That place is not for ordinary people. Many experts who have just stepped into the door have died because they couldn't handle the hellish training there. He's just a kid who wants to die. Su-Yun naturally understood what Cho-Yun was saying. He knew what kind of place the hunter school was. So what? That's the path he chose. Cho-Yun, he wants to become someone like us, someone who has the ability to protect everyone. You, me, and Dove, all of us are people who have narrowly escaped death. Linga nodded. Maybe that kid's choice is right. A man needs to be trained. Daddy, little brother Boo won't not come back, right? Guogua's small hands nervously grabbed onto her clothes. Although she didn't know what the hunter school was, she could still read the worry in Su-Yun's heart from the serious expressions of the adults. Su-Yun gently hugged Guogua. Do you think little brother Boo is a real man? Is he a real man? Yes, he's the boss in the school. Even the seniors don't dare to provoke him. Guogua said. As long as someone bullies the weak, he'll stand up and protect them. I think he's a real man. Su-Yun smiled. Then let Daddy tell you. A real man will keep his word. He said he'll come back, so he'll definitely come back to find us. Yes, he'll definitely come back. Guogua said seriously. Lin Guo and Cho-Yun were still a little shocked. How did Bufifan find out about the hunter school? If he didn't have a referral, he wouldn't even be able to find the place, let alone the hunter school. Maybe this was good news. Lin Guo smiled. That place isn't easy to find. Plus, he might not be able to get in without a referral. Brother, maybe he'll get tired after a while. When that happens, he'll naturally come back. We have nothing to worry about. Let's just treat it as a vacation. But I'm sure that he has a referral. Otherwise he wouldn't have left so resolutely, Su-Yun said. I believe that you've all heard of that American genius, Kevin Matthew. Maybe he's Bufifan's referral. Lin Guo and Cho-Yun fell silent. That's right, they had forgotten that Bufifan had such a famous master on the internet. His master was a high-tech genius that many people dreamed of having. The founder of the hunter school, the ancient magpie world, would definitely be pursuing this genius. There was at least an 80% chance that they were related. Bufifan must have gotten the exact location from Kevin Matthew. If Kevin Matthew recommended someone, the ancient magpie world would definitely give him face. Brother, I finally understand why you're so confident. Lin Guo let out a long sigh. If it's someone recommended by Kevin Matthew, the ancient magpie world wouldn't dare let his 8 instructors train him to death. You should have said so earlier. You made me worry for nothing. If that's the case, then don't let them look for him. I'll just call them and ask them to come back. Su-Yun shook his head. If they can find him, I still hope to find him. It won't be too late for him to leave after I bring him to meet someone in a few days. Whatever, let's see what God wants. If God wants him to leave, none of us can make him stay. About 2 hours later, everyone returned empty-handed. No one had found a trace of Bufifan. When Bufifan decided to leave, he knew that everyone would look for him, so he didn't go to the airport or the train station. Instead, he called a taxi and paid the driver a high price to send him out of Xinjiang. He didn't even take the highway. He drove along the national highway and left Xinjiang. When he arrived at a nearby city, he quickly bought the fastest high-speed train ticket to Beijing. When he arrived in Beijing, there were flights to everywhere. Kevin Matthew had told him that the Hunters Academy was built on a nameless island 50 nautical miles away from the Hawaiian Islands. It was a private island, the private property of the headmaster of the Hunters Academy. Anyone who could stand on that island was a well-known figure in the underground world. However, not everyone could enter the island. Under Bufifan's request, Kevin Matthew finally agreed to recommend him. After everything was arranged, he called Bufifan and asked him to come to Hawaii. He would wait for him there. Bufifan was excited, worried, and nervous when he bought the ticket. After boarding the plane, his feelings were even more complicated. When the plane took off, Bufifan doubted if he was doing the right thing. He wanted to become strong so badly. The world belonged to the strong at any time. Even though this was a civilized society with legal systems, everyone knew that there would always be shadows under the sun. Even though this was a legal society, there would always be a dark underground world. Although the underground world and civilized society would not have a huge conflict, the people of the underground world knew that only the human civilization could improve their society. But after all, they existed in the same space. One was in the light while the other was in the dark. There would always be some small friction between them. Although these small frictions were harmless, Bufifen still hoped that he could have a foothold in this world where small frictions occasionally occurred. He had decided to join the Hunter Academy for a simple reason. He only hoped to become strong enough to share Su Yun's burden, instead of relying on others to protect him. The opportunity was right in front of him. If he gave up now, he would be a coward running away from the battle. A man should act like a man. He would rather die standing than live on his knees. Bufifen had to act like a man. Otherwise, it would be meaningless for him to live in this world. He could never catch up to the people around him. Bufifen knew how strong Su Yin was, and he also knew how arrogant his master Matthew was. Everyone was so strong. Even the chef's apprentice, Brother Bai Liang from the northeast, was able to kill a wild boar with a great swordsmanship. It greatly stimulated Bufifen. Chapter 708. Perhaps there were too many things going on in his mind. After an unknown period of time, Fei Fan woke up due to the turbulence in the air. The stewardess reminded everyone that they were about to arrive at their destination. She hoped that they could have a wonderful trip and memories in Hawaii. The moment Bufifen stepped out of the airport, he fell in love with this beautiful island city. It was so beautiful, and it was so simple. The sky was blue, and the clouds were white. This was enough to make Bufifen's heart flutter. In Huaxia, he couldn't even remember the last time he saw blue sky and white clouds. Damn, Bufifen sighed. No wonder rich people wanted to emigrate. Even government officials wanted to make a lot of money before they retired. It wasn't because foreign countries were more developed, nor was it because foreign food was safer, or there was no bleaching powder in the water, or the competition was fairer. It was because they could enjoy the most basic pleasure of breathing here. The air here was definitely a luxury that Huaxia people could not buy with money. Perhaps the privileged people in Huaxia could enjoy privileged food and water, but they could not enjoy this kind of privileged air. Because it was only the first year of middle school, Bufifen's English was definitely not good. He spent a lot of effort before he finally found the place where Kevin Matthew agreed to meet him. The locals were really nice. They were very friendly. At least, Bufifen felt a deep sense of goodwill. They greeted him in a friendly manner, and patiently listened to his awkward English. All this made Bufifen less nervous and restrained. He believed that he would slowly become a member of this place. Of course, there were gangsters everywhere. It was inevitable. It was just like how no matter how beautiful the scenery was, there would always be trash. Hey, Asian buddy. White and black people seem to be more evolved than yellow people, at least in terms of body shape. A few tall and strong guys surrounded Bufifen and shouted in a teasing tone. Although Bufifen's English was not good, he could still understand these simple words. Although there were some problems with his grammar, he could still express the meaning clearly. Is there anything I can help you with? Wow, looks like you can understand English. A few of the local gangsters said, Are you Korean? No, Bufifen said. A white man said with certainty, Then you must be Japanese. You are the Japanese. Your whole family is Japanese. I am a Huaxia citizen. Bufifen glared at him and emphasized again, A Huaxia citizen. Do you understand? Several people nodded in realization, but the smiles on their faces were full of malice. Huaxia people don't matter. RMB is more valuable than Japanese yen and Korean won. Hee, fellow Huaxia people. Let us see how much cash you have on you. How about it? As they spoke, they slowly forced Bufifen into a dead end. Bufifen turned around and wanted to run, but the tall iron gate behind him blocked his way. Just when he was in a predicament and didn't know how to save himself, a black shadow flashed by. The local gangsters who were about to rob Bufifen immediately screamed. Bufifen turned his head and saw a nimble and agile guy shuttling between a few dagger-wielding foreigners with ease. He easily took care of those gangsters. You guys really don't have a good memory. Did you forget what I told you? Don't have any ideas about Huaxia people. All Huaxia people know martial arts. Do you understand? The young man stood arrogantly in front of the gangsters and reprimanded them sternly. I will forgive you for robbing Japanese people here. You can't do anything else. Yes, yes, yes. The gangsters who were knocked to the ground nodded and begged for mercy. The young man thought for a moment and corrected them. Not all Japanese people can be robbed. Before you act, ask him who Turtle Island belongs to. If he says it belongs to Huaxia, then there is no problem. If he dares to say it belongs to Japan, then we must rob him. Not only rob, but also beat him up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, scram. The young man waved his hand, and the gangsters fled in panic. The young man turned around, smiled, and asked in Chinese, "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Thank you so much for what you did just now." Bufifin was overjoyed to be able to meet his compatriots. "Thank you so much. I don't know how to repay you." The young man smiled slightly. "You don't need to repay me. You are Bufifin, right?" Shock. Bufifin looked up at the young man in front of him. "How do you know my name?" "My name is Yuan. Others like to call me Crocodile." The young man smiled. "Mr. Matthew asked me to wait for you here. My name is Kevin Matthew. He said that you are very young, but I didn't expect you to be so young. Maybe he shouldn't use the word young to describe you. You are young." Bufifin looked at Yuan. He relaxed a lot when he heard that it was Master Matthew's arrangement. He smiled embarrassedly. "Although I am young, I am very mature." If you are not mature, you wouldn't dare to come here alone." Yuan said. "Okay, I won't talk nonsense with you. If you really want to go to the hunter school, then be mentally prepared. Since you were recommended by Matthew, our principal will definitely not reject you. But there is a problem. Once you enter, don't even think about coming out. Even if you can't bear it, you have to endure it. The hunter school is not like the boarding school you went to in Huaxia, where you can come and go as you wish. Do you understand?" Bufifin's Adam's apple bobbed. He was a little scared by Yuan's words. "Understood." Yuan seemed to see Bufifin's nervousness. He reached out and put his arm around his shoulder. "Of course, you don't have to be afraid. After all, the school is a school, not hell. It's just that the things you learn are different. There's nothing to be afraid of. At least you can stay in the hunter school for a few days. You won't be bullied by those useless people outside." These words pierced Bufifin's heart. This was the effect he wanted. Bufifin's eyes lit up. "Brother Crocodile, take me there now. I can't wait." "Okay." Yuan smiled. "I'll give you a few more minutes. You can call Matthew and tell him that you are here. You can also tell the people in Huaxia that they don't need to worry because you will lose your phone soon. Of course, you will also lose all your luggage. But don't worry, I will keep it safe for you. When you are qualified enough to leave, I will return it all to you. Hee, but by then, your phone will be outdated. Also, there is another possibility. You won't be able to make it to that day. Don't worry, I will bury all your belongings with you." Bufifin listened carefully. Although Yuan said it with a smile, he understood that it was a serious problem. Bufifin didn't call anyone. He just sent a group message to those who cared about him. It was a very simple message. "Everything is fine. Don't worry." After sending the message, Bufifin quickly turned off his phone and handed all his belongings to Yuan. Yuan was very satisfied with Bufifin's cooperation. He took Bufifin's backpack and smiled. "Although Matthew recommended you, you have no foundation at all. If you want to enter the island, you have to pass the test. Let's go. I will take you there." "Brother Crocodile, when do I pay the tuition fees?" Bufifin asked. "My cards are all in the bag. Does the school accept cards?" "Brother, before you pass the test, you are not a student of the school." Yuan said. "Also, I have good news for you. Because you were recommended by Matthew, the principal will not charge you any tuition fees. And we don't have a POS machine. Swiping a card. I hope you are kidding." Bufifin was a little embarrassed. The tuition fees here were surprisingly high. He didn't expect Matthew's master to be so influential. The two talked as they walked. Yuan brought Bufifin to a small bar in a more remote location. Bufifin was a little surprised. Who would come to drink in broad daylight? There were no customers in the bar at all. The bar owner was a middle-aged man in his 50s. Just by looking at his skin, one could tell that he was Asian. When he saw the two of them come in, the bar owner smiled at Yuan. "Crocodile, what are you doing here? Is there another kid who wants to die on the island? The principal is too rich. He is charging such a high tuition fee. And these kids will die after a few days of food. Can your mouth not be so cheap?" Yuan laughed. "This is a recommendation from an acquaintance. He doesn't even have to pay a penny for the tuition. Don't scare our new student. He is still a kid." Bufifin was disturbed by the bar owner's words. He had goosebumps all over his body. "Little Boo, don't listen to him. His mouth is asking for a beating." Yuan turned around and said. He asked the bar owner for 2 bottles of beer. After opening them, he handed one to Bufifin. Bufifin took it and thanked him. Then he asked, "Didn't you say it was a test? Is it to test my alcohol tolerance?" If your alcohol tolerance is high, you don't have to waste the beer." Just as Yuan's voice fell, 2 guys wearing the same red short-sleeved shirt, camouflage pants, and purple cloth tied around their arms walked in. Their waists were bulging, and they were definitely stuffed with weapons like pistols or daggers. The 2 of them cursed as they walked into the bar, and entered the range of Yuan and Bufifin. Yuan smiled. He raised his head and drank all the beer in his hand. He whispered to Bufifin, "Let me show you. Do as I say and you will pass the test." After saying that, Yuan suddenly smashed the beer bottle on the bar counter. He took a big step forward and stabbed the sharp beer bottle into the neck of one of them. That person didn't even have a chance to make a sound before he was killed. His accomplice reached for his waist in a panic. "Do it," Yuan said coldly. But everything happened too suddenly. Bufifin was stunned. The test was to kill. This was inhumane. If he really did that, he would become a demon. No, he couldn't do it at all. But just as Bufifin was hesitating, the partner had already taken out his pistol. He could end Bufifin's life with a light pull of the trigger. Of course, Yuan wouldn't give him the chance. He had already finished off the second person. The bar owner seemed to be used to seeing Yuan kill people. He didn't seem surprised at all. What? Bufifin trembled. Yuan shrugged and said casually, "Not bad, you passed the first test. You won't kill people for no reason. Not bad, not bad. This kid is humane." "I'm asking you, why are you killing people for no reason?" Bufifin roared. "Are you crazy? Are you inhumane?" Yuan put his index finger to his mouth and shushed him. "Don't be so agitated. You will summon their partners. If you want to know the reason, I can explain it to you right now. Of course, let me make it clear that I am not a demon." Chapter 709. Bufifin was stunned. He stared at Yuan with his eyes wide open. He wanted to know what was going on. Yuan smiled faintly and said, "These people are from the shark gang in the nearby waters. They are a group of pirates who commit all kinds of crimes. What they do every day is murder, arson, plunder, rape, and extortion. They are the biggest demons in the surrounding hundreds of miles. As long as someone is caught by them while out at sea, it is impossible for them to return alive. Everyone who enters the hunter school must learn how to kill the demons in this place. They are the demons of this place. If you can't do that, I will send you to the airport and let you leave safely." Bufifin found it hard to accept. He looked at Yuan, and then at the bar owner. The bar owner said calmly, "He is telling the truth. Every member of the crocodile gang is a demon whose hands are stained with blood. The first thing they do after joining the gang is to kidnap a child, dig out the child's heart and eat it raw to show their loyalty. Every time they kill someone, they cut off the victim's ear and soak it in potion. They string it into a bracelet and wear it on their body. The thicker the bracelet, the higher their status in the gang." Bufifin felt nauseous. He lowered his head and saw that the 2 dead men were indeed wearing bracelets made of human ears on their wrists. One of them had 3, and the other had 4. Bufifin felt even more nauseous. His stomach churned, and he almost threw up the free lunch he had on the plane. "Listen, now is not the time for you to feel nauseous," Yuan said. Every time the sharks come to the main island of Hawaii, they are prepared to do evil. Every time, they will arrange for 4 people to come out. Now that we have dealt with 2 of them, there must be another 2 waiting in the car outside for them to buy alcohol. 1 minute later, when the people outside can't wait for them, they will come in to look for them. Bufifin's Adam's apple bobbed. The hunter school was just as Boss Sue had said. It was not a place where anyone could come. You won't kill people easily. This is your principle and also your humanity. The hunter school won't accept people without humanity, Yuan said. In other words, if you had really attacked earlier, you wouldn't have been accepted. But now that you know of their evil deeds, their companions will enter again. I need you to pass the second test. Kill these people whose hands are stained with blood, and become the true devil slayer of the hunter school. When Yuan finished speaking, the sound of footsteps came from outside the door. Their accomplices couldn't wait to come in. If you can't do it, you'll never become a real hunter. The Hunter Academy won't waste its time educating a good-for-nothing who isn't fit to be a hunter. Yuan's words were firm. It's up to you whether you can join the academy or not. Clang. The door of the bar was kicked open. Bufifin gritted his teeth as a cold light flashed in his eyes. These heart-eating bastards were not humans at all. Crack. With the sound of a bottle breaking, Bufifin pounced on the guy who broke into the bar. Bufifin felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction when the sharp broken bottle pierced his opponent's throat. Bufifin knew that if he killed this demon today, many people would not have to suffer in the future. At the same time, Yuan also helped him take care of the other accomplice who broke in. Not bad, well done. Yuan smiled. This is probably your first time killing someone, right? I didn't kill people. Bufifin shook his head. These people are worse than animals. The bar owner laughed heartily. This little guy has a high awareness. The principal likes this kind of little guy. Ha ha ha. Not bad, not bad. Boss, I'll take him back first. I'll leave this to you. Yuan laughed. I'll give you the money later. I was in too much of a hurry today and forgot to bring my wallet. Then, Yuan pulled Bufifin and ran out of the bar. You little bastard, you don't want to deal with the aftermath again. Damn you. You haven't paid me for my drinks 36 times. 72 bottles. You owe me $1,080. The bar owner's voice could be heard outside the bar. At this time, Yuan had already brought Bufifin into the jeep of the 4 crocodile gang members. He stepped on the gas pedal, and the car sped away. Congratulations, you're now an official member of the Hunter School, Yuan said as he drove. Our boat is at the eastern pier. I'll take you to our island now. Bufifin was excited. He seemed to have found an inexplicable sense of belonging. It was as if he was born to belong to this place, and it was not strange at all. However, there was a deep worry in his heart. He finally asked, I know that the Hunter School is a hellish training. Many people die in the training every year, right? Yuan nodded. I won't deny that, but they definitely didn't die in the training. They died in the actual combat training, because our actual combat training is to take down the sharks. The sharks' hands are stained with the blood of hunters. You have to be mentally prepared for this. If you fall into the hands of the sharks one day, you'll suffer a terrible fate. However, you don't have the chance to quit now. If you don't want to die a horrible death, don't slack off during the training. How many years is the training? Bufifin was stunned. That was too long. Yuan glanced at him. Kid, don't tell me you think you can really go against the sharks just because you've taken care of the weakest member of the sharks? I can tell you clearly that I've been at the Hunter School for 11 years. Even I don't have the right to carry out an assassination mission on my own. As for you, it's still too early. You've been here for 11 years? Bufifin was shocked. Yeah, I came here when I was 12. I'm 1 year younger than you. Yuan smiled. Kid, take your time. If God is watching over you, you might be able to last until I'm here. Bufifin said calmly. I don't believe in God, but I will persevere. I still have things to do and people I want to meet, so I can't die here. Not bad, not bad. A person with a strong will always have a stronger desire to win than a person who believes in God. Yuan praised. Kid, I like you more and more now. I'll be your guide in the future. You can ask me anything you don't understand. I'll arrange everything for you. Bufifin was stunned. You? Then what about the principal? Damn, asshole. Are you looking down on me? You're just a kid who hasn't even tied up your hair, and you want the principal to train you personally? Yuan snorted and stopped the car. I can train you to death. F***ck. If you're not convinced, get out of the car. Let's start now. Follow the car to the dock. If you can't catch the boat, swim in the sea. There are tiger head sharks in the sea. They're very aggressive. Bufifin laughed. Brother Gator, I know I'm wrong. Don't scare me. Yuan was stunned. You don't think I'm joking with you, do you? Are you not? Bufifin was shocked. Yuan shook his head and rolled down the window of the front passenger seat. He reached out and flipped Bufifin out of the window. You're already part of the school. Everything I say to you from now on won't be a joke. With that, Yuan drove off, leaving a trail of dust behind him. F***cku. Bufifin really wanted to curse him. Was he for real? F***ck. Tiger head sharks really eat people. Bufifin had no place to vent his grievances. He had chosen this path himself. If he didn't want to feed the sharks, he had to run as fast as he could. Brother Gator. I'm wrong. Slow down. A jeep traveling at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour was not considered fast, but if a person were to drive at this speed, it would really be risking his life. Yuan listened to the song and directly set the cruising speed. This car was not bad, and it was time for him to upgrade his car. Haha, he had seized a good car and accepted a kid with good potential and aptitude. If he trained well in the future, he would definitely become a great person. Although Yuan was the youngest of the 8 instructors in the hunter school, his experience in training newbies was not young at all. On the other side of the ocean, everyone tried to call Bufifin after receiving his message. However, all they heard was the robot's voice. Sorry, the number you have dialed is temporarily unavailable. Please try again later. Suyin massaged his temples. Although there was nothing in the message, it proved that Bufifin was safe. He must have found the place he was looking for. Suyin knew that he had to walk his own path in the future. No one could help him. He could only hope that he could become a real man as soon as possible. Brother Qianfeng and the others are back. They might have found some clues. Do you want to go? Lin Gu interrupted Suyun's thoughts. They were expressionless the last few times they came back. However, they look happy today. Suyun nodded and walked out of the room. It had been 3 days. Lung Chen seemed to have evaporated into thin air. He had disappeared from Xinjiang. But Suyun's intuition told him that Lung Chen had not truly evaporated. He was hiding in a dark corner of Xinjiang, like a hungry wolf waiting to pounce. He was enduring his hunger, and as long as there was an opportunity, he would pounce on him and give him a fatal blow. If Suyun did not want to be bitten by Lung Chen, he had to give him a head-on blow when his stomach was rumbling with hunger. Huoleitang led everyone back to the hotel. When he saw Suyun, he immediately asked him to return to his room with them. Qianfeng could not help but say proudly, "We have a clue, boss. Hard work pays off. No matter how cunning a fox is, it's impossible to beat a good hunter. Don't get carried away. It's only a guess. If you want to prove it, you'll have to wait until tonight." Huoleitang glared at Qianfeng. Don't talk nonsense if you don't know for sure. Although it was only a guess, Suyun was looking forward to it. No matter what, they had found something in the past 3 days. They had not wasted any time. That was enough. Suyun, based on the clues and evidence we have, we can roughly determine Lung Chen's hiding place. After Huoleitang entered his room, he took out a map of Xinjiang City and pointed to a place near the sea. This used to be a shipyard. However, due to economic problems, it stopped operating. In this place, we smelled Lung Chen. Therefore, we decided to go check it out tonight. Suyun nodded. I want to go with you this time. Okay. Huoleitang did not refuse. I'll have Feilong and Longzhan stay behind. You take Lingur and Fox Noble and come with us. Chapter 710. This was already the 4th night the Special Forces team had been in Xinjiang. From their careful infiltration to their unscrupulous search of the entire abandoned shipyard factory, they still couldn't find any trace of Lung Chun. Clearly, the scent they had smelled was not accurate. Lung Chun was not as severely injured as they had imagined. Everyone knew very well that the more time passed, the more terrifying Lung Chen's recovery would be. After all, he had Peng Juanda by his side. Although that guy was not worth mentioning when it came to fighting, when it came to healing, he was definitely a genius. Although Su Yun was used to this kind of stressful situation, it was hard for him to accept being disappointed with such high hopes. Gong Jiuxiao said with some disdain, "Shadow Dragon, this is what you said, that he's definitely here? Where is he? We've been lurking outside this damn shipyard factory for 5 hours and sneaked in so carefully and nervously. Let alone a person. I'm afraid even birds wouldn't shit in this place, right? If you're just guessing in the future, don't make us waste our energy." I've said it before. According to the investigation, this is just a guess, just an inference. Nothing is absolute. Huo Leitang glared at Gong Jiuxiao. Do you think I didn't want to clarify things before bringing everyone here? But who are our opponents? If I bring Dragon's Fury in alone and encounter any mishaps, can you guarantee that you and Flying Dragon will be able to complete this mission? Gong Jiuxiao raised his head and sneered. You really look down on us. Do you think we can't do anything without your Dragon's Fury? Do you think we're protected by you when we're with you? I really want to tell you, Captain Shadow, the Dragon Brigade isn't just your Dragon Fury team that has taken on S-rank missions. Our Dragon Prestige has also taken on S-rank missions, and we've also successfully solved the problem. Captain, we've only taken on one S-rank mission, but Dragon's Fury has taken on 2 of them, Yang Zhao said. It's normal for them to have a sense of superiority, Yuan Yujiang said with a mocking tone. It's true that they've taken on 2 missions, but they failed once. Moreover, it happened to the omnipotent Captain Yan Long. I remember that quite clearly. In the end, they used their brothers' lives in exchange for their current lives. Hidden Dragon. If you King say another word, I'll send you to hell. Qian Feng could not care less. He took out his gun and pointed it at the center of Youjiang's head. This bastard actually dared to joke about Yinlong's matter. This was the biggest taboo of the Dragon Fury team members. Yuan Yujiang didn't believe that Qian Feng would dare to open fire. If he did, it wouldn't be a violation of discipline. It would be a crime of murder. Not everyone in Dragon's Fury was so impulsive. Even if Huo Leitang couldn't control him, Han Zhan wouldn't let him mess around. Han Zhan, who had always been calm, was silent this time. Previously, whenever Qian Feng was impulsive, he would stop him. However, he didn't stop him this time. Yuan Youjiang's mouth was indeed too much. Not to mention that Qian Feng was easily impulsive when it came to insulting Su Yun. Even he was a little impulsive. They would never allow someone to joke about their dead brothers. At this time, Hua Xiaolu suddenly stepped forward, grabbed Yuan Youjiang's collar, and punched him in the mouth. Yuan Yujiang was unprepared. He thought that Hua Xiaolu was there to dissuade Qian Feng, so he was not prepared at all. Hua Xiaolu's heavy punch broke his front teeth. Yang Zhao and Ma Tingfei were both angry. They went forward to help and tried to snatch Yuan Yujiang from their hands. Qian Feng pressed the muzzle of his gun against Yuan Youjiang's temple and said angrily to Yang Zhao and Ma Tingfei, "You think I'm joking, right? Come on. Take another step forward. Let's see if I dare to CK him to death. You want to joke about my brother Yinlong's death? Even the head captain can't do it." Huo Leitang didn't say a word. Even Han Zhan didn't stop him. Only then did Gong Jiuxiao realize that things had gone too far. Hidden Dragon. Apologize. Gong Jiuxiao wasn't a fool. If he went overboard, the impact and trouble would be huge. A dragon had a reverse scale. Everyone had something they couldn't touch. The Dragon Fury team's people couldn't touch that failed mission. Everyone thought that it was an S-rank difficult mission, but it was enough for the experienced Dragon's Fury. However, no one would have thought that the difficulty of this mission had exceeded the SS rank difficulty. Moreover, they were betrayed by the higher-ups of the police midway. This was the reason for the mission's failure. This was the reason Yinlong lost his life in the end. Su Yin walked to Qianfeng's side and pressed the muzzle of his gun down. Only then did Yuan Youjiang's pounding heart calm down. He was really shocked just now because he didn't even care about Hua Leitang and Han Zhan. Only God knew what crazy things Qianfeng could do. If you're afraid of trouble, then don't cause trouble for yourself. Su Yin said coldly. After you return to the army, ask your captain to teach you manners. If you dare to joke about a dead person again, I'll kill you immediately. I'm not a member of the Dragon Brigade. I'm not afraid that the Dragon Brigade will let your Longwei people track me down. No matter who you are, I won't forgive you for joking about my brother. Yuan Yujiang didn't know why, but Su Yun's words made him feel a strong sense of uneasiness. To be honest, these soldiers weren't afraid of death. They didn't even know what it felt like to be afraid. And this time, Su Yun let Yuan Yujiang experience this feeling again. I'm not warning you. I'm threatening you. Su Yun finally said, Xinjiang is my territory. It's really unwise to cause trouble for me in my territory. Gong Jiuxiao motioned for Ma Tingfei to go forward and pull Yuan Yujiang back. He said to Su Yun, don't let such a small matter affect our relationship, right? My people are doing this for you. So can you give them some face and don't be so calculative? We're calculative? Even Han Zhan couldn't help but say, Gong Jiuxiao, I think we've been tolerant enough. If you're really unwilling to work with us Dragon's Fury people, you can apply to the higher-ups. I believe they'll arrange for people to replace you. Then why didn't you apply to the higher-ups to replace you? Gong Jiuxiao raised his eyebrows and said, Oh, I understand. Lung Chen is a fat piece of meat, and he's already injured. Of course, Dragon's Fury doesn't want to throw it to others. Let Dragon's Fury people stay in the hotel first, then let us apply to leave. In the end, all the merits will belong to you, Dragon's Fury. Am I right? Hearing this, Su Yin even had the impulse to punch Gong Jiuxiao's teeth to pieces. Even in such a situation, he was still thinking about the issue of merit points. Since you think so, then I have nothing to say. Hua Leitang said. Lung Chen is seriously injured, but he's definitely not someone we can easily deal with. If you want to take the credit, I won't talk nonsense with you. I'll take my people back now. If you want to investigate, then continue to investigate. Since the higher-ups let me lead the team, I'll give you the authority today. The matter of tracking down Lung Chen will be your Dragon's Fury team's responsibility. Gong Jiuxiao just chuckled. That's what you said. Listen up, Dragon's Fury team. We're leaving today. From tomorrow onwards, Lung Chen will be our target. We can do things according to our own decisions. Let's go. Go back to the hotel, and have a good rest. Lin Ge suddenly stepped forward and stopped Gong Jiuxiao and the others. Hey leader, which hotel are you going back to? Not everyone can afford to stay in Xinkai. If I remember correctly, there shouldn't be anything left in the hotel, right? The hotel is treating you for free because of my brother, but I'm afraid there's no need for that now. Gong Jiuxiao had seen Lin Ji's strength. That day when he poured water for him, it was already a show of strength. Moreover, Lin Ge wasn't one of them, and he had the support of the evil god. He had some scruples. Do you think that Dragon's Fury team can't even afford to stay in a hotel? No. Of course I don't think so. Lin Ge said. Even if it's 50,000 yuan, you can definitely afford to stay in the presidential suite tonight. However, money can't buy what I want. Xinkai doesn't welcome you. No matter how much money you pay, we can't spare a room. Bastard. Gong Jiuxiao cursed in his heart. It was obvious that he wanted to chase them out. From the beginning to the end, Su Yin and Hua Leitang didn't say anything. They felt that there was no need to think about Gong Jiuxiao anymore. Qianfeng looked back proudly. I saw a lot of small-ins on the way out. Have a good rest tonight. It's best if we can capture Lung Chen tomorrow. That way, your dragon's might will have done a great service, and our dragon's fury won't have to worry. Everyone will be satisfied. Remember to tell the team when you go back that Lung Chen was captured by you. We only care about enjoying ourselves in the 5-star hotel. Bye-bye. Everyone left, leaving only Gong Jiuxiao and the others with their own cars at the entrance of the dock factory. Captain, what do we do? Ma Tingfei frowned. Let's follow them. At most, they're just saying that. It's impossible for them to really leave us alone. I'll say a few good words in a while, and this matter will be settled, right? Do you have any dignity? They've already made their decision. How can we be so thick-skinned and follow them? Yang Zhao said angrily. F***CK, I don't want to see Dragon's Fury's faces. Even if I sleep on the road, I won't go back. Yuan Yujiang nodded. Yes, Dragon's Fury is also people with integrity. We've experienced all kinds of bad conditions. Wait until we capture Leng Chen and get the credit. By then, the people who won't be able to raise their heads will be Dragon's Furies. Captain, tell us what to do. I'm sure they're just giving us a lesson. As long as we wait, they'll definitely come back and invite us back, Gong Jiuxiao said. Gong Jiuxiao said. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. This group of bastards dared to treat him like this. Fine, then he would do something to prove it to them. I won't fall for this. Even if you come back and beg us, we won't go. We'll stay here tonight. Yang Zhao grinned. Captain Kuang, we'll listen to you. We've been looking for Leng Chen for 3 days. There are only 2 possibilities now. Gong Jiuxiao said. First, Leng Chen has already left Xinjiang. We can't find him even if we dig 3 feet into the ground. Second, his injuries are too serious and he's hidden too well. As long as we find him, we'll have a chance to kill him. No matter which one it is, it won't be a threat to us. Rest well now. From tomorrow onwards, we'll use our own methods to find him. The credit for capturing Hell King Leng Chen must go to our Dragon's Fury. We can't let Dragon's Fury take it away. Chapter 7:11. Aha. Good. Well said. Well said. As soon as Gong Jiuxiao finished speaking, a cold laugh came from the 2nd floor of the dock factory. You're too confident, aren't you? But I can tell you now that there's a 3rd possibility. The 4 members of the Dragon's Might team froze and immediately prepared for battle. Leng Chen appeared in the dock factory like a divine soldier from the heavens. And he had Yang Yi, Huang Yu and other fierce people by his side. The 3rd possibility is that my injuries have healed, and I'm still in Xinjiang, ready to play with you guys. Leng Chen's voice sounded like it came from hell. I've let you guys live so freely for the past few days. You should be satisfied. Since the matter had come, they had to face it. Gong Jiuxiao could only pray that Leng Chen was just bluffing. He took a deep breath and ordered, maintain formation. Prepare for battle. Leng Chen also said coldly, go. After Su Yun and the others returned to Xingkai Hotel, Hu Leitang seemed to be regretting it. No matter what, he was the overall person in charge of this investigation mission. If his decision caused the people of Dragon's Might to be in danger, the responsibility on his shoulders was heavier than anyone else's. Shadow Team, do you want me to go back and take a look? If I see them, I'll bring them back. Han Zhang could see Hu Leitang's thoughts. He walked at the back and said, let's forget about the conflict. After all, you're the person in charge. They can lose their cool but you can't. What? Brother Black Dragon, have you been kicked in the head by a donkey? Qian Feng was speechless. If they want to take the credit, then let them do it. We didn't chase them away. They were the ones who wanted to cause trouble. You think that Shadow Dragon is the person in charge of this mission, but they don't think so. If they really saw Shadow Team as the commander, they wouldn't have done such a F***ket-up thing. And they wouldn't have such a F***ket-up idea. They think that we, Dragon's Fury, are just trying to snatch their achievements. I'm laughing. Why don't they take a look at us, Dragon's Fury? Isn't our Dragon's Fury far ahead of them? Su Yun reached out and patted Qian Feng's shoulder, indicating that he shouldn't be angry about Gong Jiuxiao's matter. It's because Dragon's Fury's contribution is the greatest every year. And Dragon's Fury completes the most missions every year that they have the idea of competing with us. You can't blame them for this. Who doesn't have a competitive heart? But this isn't a joke. We're in the middle of a quest right now. Why does he have to be so nosy? Qian Feng snorted. Hua Xiaolu naturally stood on Qian Feng's side and said, Boss Shadow Team, Brother Black Dragon, I think Azure Dragon is right. The bad habits of Longwei's people are all because of us. I think we've already given them a lot of face, but they still want to climb all over us. Since they don't want it, why do we have to give them face again and again? Han Zhan shook his head helplessly. Young people were always hot-tempered. Of course, he understood Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu's thoughts. They had also made a lot of concessions and tolerance. Today's outburst was because the other party had gone too far. Bringing up Yinlong's death in front of Su Yun was an absolutely intolerable taboo for any Dragon Fury team member. Han Zhan had no choice but to look at Su Yun for help. In this world, the only person who could calm these two guys down was probably Su Yun. Hua Leitang also had no choice but to place his hopes on Su Yun. Boss, they're the ones who are stupid. We have to teach them a lesson. If we go back and find them now, we'll be giving them even more face. In the future, they won't put Shadow Team in their eyes, much less us Dragon Fury team members in their eyes. Qianfeng insisted. Su Yun nodded. Yes, you're right. Qianfeng was overjoyed. You think what I said makes sense too? Shadow Team, Black Dragon, listen. Boss said what I said makes sense. We can't give them face anymore. Listen to what Boss has to say, Han Zhan said calmly. Su Yun smiled helplessly. What you said is very reasonable, we all know that, but some things can't be done just because it makes sense. We left them behind just to teach them a lesson. We didn't really abandon them and don't care about them. They've already learned their lesson, but we can't let them be in danger. If Gong Jiuxiao really leads them alone, they'll face fatal danger. Hua Xiaolu muttered, they asked for it. Although they're not Dragon Fury's brothers, they're still part of the Dragon Brigade. They're also iron-blooded men who are willing to sacrifice their lives for their country, Su Yun said. They can die a heroic death, but they can't die so worthlessly. I agree that Black Dragon should go back and take a look, and I'll go with him. This isn't to give them face, but to avoid unnecessary losses. Isn't it better if I go? Hua Leitang said. Su Yun shook his head. You're the commander of the team. You taught him a lesson today. If you go, it'll hurt your own dignity. Don't worry, leave it to me. I'll handle it properly. Azure Dragon, if they don't learn their lesson this time, I won't give them any chances if they come looking for trouble again. Okay. Qianfeng nodded. I'll listen to you. Hua Leitang looked at Su Yun embarrassedly. Boss, thanks. Why are you being so courteous with me? Su Yun smiled. This was the first time Hua Leitang had called him that since he left Dragon Fury. Han Zhan drove and brought Su Yun back to the dock factory. He believed that with Gong Jiuxiao's intelligence, he wouldn't be stupid enough to leave the dock factory. However, things did not seem to be as they had imagined. When Su Yun and Han Zhan returned to the dock factory, there was not a single person left in the dock factory. All that was left was a shocking bloodstain. Obviously, a fierce battle had just taken place here. On the wall, on the ground, there were bloodstains, bullet marks, knife marks. It was a ghastly sight. Su Yun thought to himself. Oh no! Han Zhan didn't pay attention for a moment. Obviously, their internal strife had given their opponents an opportunity. Everything that had just happened here must have been done by Leng Qin. And Gong Jiuxiao and the others were probably in trouble. Individually, the four of them did indeed have decent combat strength. However, if Leng Qin brought people to ambush them, their chances of winning were pitifully low. What should we do now? Han Zhan said anxiously. Su Yun didn't say anything and walked out of the dock factory. Leave this place immediately. Everything will be discussed when we return to the hotel. But now that they've been captured. Han Zhan was a little hesitant. It's because they've been captured that we have to unite all our remaining forces. If we continue to stay here, we might be ambushed again. Let's go. There's no time. Su Yun was used to making decisions at this kind of critical juncture, and everyone in Dragon's Fury was used to listening to his orders at this kind of time. Han Zhan didn't hesitate to get into the car with Su Yun and quickly left. He knew that Su Yun's decision couldn't be wrong. The disappearance of the Longwei Special Warfare Team was undoubtedly a huge blow to them. Hua Leitang regretted that he had acted in a fit of pique. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. If the Longwei Special Warfare Team was sacrificed because of this, he couldn't find a reason to take responsibility for the development. Don't worry. They shouldn't be in danger for the time being. Su Yun. Even the four of them couldn't resist. It must be Leng Chen who did it. Leng Chen isn't a low-key person. If he had killed them, he wouldn't have disposed of their bodies. Since they weren't at the scene, it means that they must still be alive. Why are the Longwei Special Warfare Team members in trouble, but you? Xingzhe couldn't help but blurt out. This was also the question of everyone in the Dragon Fury Special Warfare Team, including Yuan Qingdi. However, no one dared to ask, because this topic was a little too hurtful. However, since Xingzhe had already brought it up, there was no need to continue. Yuan Qingdi had to say, Shadow Team, I know that the Longwei Special Warfare Team has always been unconvinced by Dragon's fury. However, in this kind of thing, I hope that we can put aside our personal grudges and cooperate more. Captain Flying Dragon, it's not that we don't want to cooperate. It's Mad Dragon who wants to cause trouble. Tianfeng said. They were afraid that we would take the credit, so they insisted on finding Leng Chen themselves. If they had followed the arrangement, today's incident wouldn't have happened. It's my fault. I shouldn't have left the Longwei Special Warfare Team members in the dock factory, because of a fit of pique. Hua Leitang said. Our deduction was right. Leng Chen was in the dock factory. However, our actions must have been detected. Therefore, when we were searching, we were already surrounded by Leng Chen. It's my fault. It's all my fault. I didn't have the ability to lead everyone. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made such a mistake. Su Yan interrupted everyone's doubts and self-blame. Now is not the time to discuss who should be blamed and whose fault it is. Instead, we should think about how to solve the problem. Analyze the current situation and how to deal with it. Everyone stopped talking. Su Yan's words were still very powerful, and he was absolutely right. What they needed to do now was not to blame, but to solve the problem. Seeing that everyone had quietened down, Su Yan continued. I can optimistically say that Leng Chen's current situation is definitely not optimistic. At least, we still have the strength to deal with them. Yin Long is right. When we entered the dock factory, Leng Chen's men had already targeted us. They were in the dark while we were in the light, but they didn't make a move. Obviously, when all of us were here, they didn't dare to make a move. Leng Chen didn't have the confidence to win, so he didn't make a move. His words made sense. Everyone nodded. When we left and only the Longwei Special Warfare Team members were left, Leng Chen had the confidence to take them down without suffering losses. This means that they must be more than twice as strong as Yu Guanglong and the others. Su Yan said. This means that they have at least 8 super experts. Now we have a total of 11 people, so we still have the advantage. Although that was the case, the other side had Leng Chen, whose condition they didn't know. If Leng Chen recovered more than 50% of his strength, it would be very difficult for them to deal with him. This is good news, but there is also bad news at the same time. Su Yan said bluntly. Leng Chen can find out about our current situation by interrogating them, if there are no ifs. Hua Leitang said. Don't worry about this. Longwei is also a member of the Dragon Brigade. People from the Dragon Brigade will not betray us. Leng Chen won't be able to get any information about us from them, and they will definitely not admit their identity. That's right. I also believe in this. Emperor Yuan Qing said. Chapter 7:12. Despite being in such a disadvantageous situation, it ignited the boiling passion in everyone's hearts. Things were that simple. Be it bickering or fighting, it was all because of the desire to win. There were no cowards, no trash in the Divine Dragon team. There was absolutely no problem that they could not solve. Yin Long, I have a suggestion. I hope that you can temporarily return to the Dragon Brigade and become our leader. There are 18 special forces in the Dragon Brigade. All the captains will look at you differently. Whether they are jealous or envious, they will all want to compete with you. Yuan Qingdi smiled. This is your ability. Su Yan shook his head. I'm not a member of the Dragon Brigade anymore. I have my own principles. I can't interfere with things that break the rules. I believe that Yin Long can lead you well. Let me finish. Yuan Qingdi interrupted Su Yan's words and continued. You represent the highest leadership and strength of the young generation of the Divine Dragon Battalion. No matter whether other captains and I are convinced or not, we can't deny that we admire you in our hearts. We admire that you can lead the Dragon's Fury Special Force to be so excellent, far better than all of us. I'm not belittling Yinglong. He is indeed very capable, at least more capable than me. But compared to you, he is far inferior. I hope that at this moment, you can let go of everything and lead us. When we return victorious from the mission, you can continue to live your life. I won't call you Yinglong anymore. Is that okay? Boss. He's right. We need your leadership now. If you don't help us, we will be like a group of dragons without a leader. We have to solve this problem immediately. Hua Xiaolu said. Just think of it as an emergency. We can only choose to rely on you and believe in you. Su Yin pointed at Hua Leitang. Your leader is here, not me. He has the ability to lead you. You don't need to worry. Never doubt your superior's leadership ability. This is the discipline of the army. Have you all forgotten? No, Yinglong. They didn't forget. Hua Leitang finally opened his mouth. I'm not the one doubting them. I'm the one doubting myself. I'm already doubting my own leadership ability. How can I give them a sense of trust? It's my fault. I hope you can help me. Really, Yinglong, Captain Boss, help me one more time. Let us finish the mission here as soon as possible. Qianfeng and Hanzhan did not speak. They were waiting for Su Yin to make his own choice. Although they wanted Su Yin to step forward bravely, they did not say anything. Because they knew better than anyone else that letting Su Yin lead the team again would definitely stimulate the guilt in his heart for Yinglong's death. Brother, I don't know what happened to you, but as a man, you have to let go of what you should. Lin Gu said softly, when others need you, especially when your brothers need you, you have to stand up for them. That's your way of doing things. This is who you are. Su Yin understood what Lin Gu meant. He had to step forward now. He had always hoped that Yinglong would be able to solve this by himself, but now it seemed that he was still too inexperienced. This kind of leadership ability was not obtained through experience. It was innate. Just like when Su Yin stepped forward now, everyone would unconditionally trust and support him. He did not need to do anything to establish his authority. Back when he was still in the Mystical Dragon Brigade, he had done too many things to establish his prestige. Gong Jiuxiao and the others are being controlled at the dockyard. This proves that we've found the right place. Lung Chen's hiding place must not be too far away. If we want our brothers from the Longwei Special Forces to be safe, we have to take down the dockyard today. However, they have hostages with them. If we really end up in a stalemate, it'll be very easy for Lung Chen to use the hostages against us, Su Yin said. There's only one way to ensure the safety of the 4 Longwei Special Forces members. There's no point in doing that. Qianfeng was the first to deny it. Su Yin insisted. This is just the surface of what we need to do. We can only seize the opportunity to turn the tables during the exchange. This is the only way. Whether you agree or not, since I'm the commander of this battle, you must obey me unconditionally. Everyone, get ready. Follow me to the dockyard immediately. Boss, the 2 of us went back before. If Lung Chen's men are still there, then we. Hanzhan was a little confused. Mad Dragon and the others are not that easy to deal with. They just subdued Longwei's men. They must be completely controlled first. That's why Lung Chen's men were not there when we went back. Su Yin said. We must use this opportunity to set up an ambush. Make all the preparations according to my arrangements. Leave the rest to me. After a pause, Su Yin continued. If there are no objections, we'll set off now. Yes, everyone said in unison. In the spacious dockyard, Su Yin's intuition told him that there was danger lurking here. Everyone entered a state of preparation under his arrangements, waiting for Su Yin's orders at any time. Nether King, the person you're looking for is me. I'm here now. If possible, I hope you can come out and talk to me alone. Su Yin's voice suddenly broke the silence of the night. I know your men are nearby. No matter who hears me, go back and report to your master. This will be a great contribution to any of you. There was clearly no one present, but Su Yin believed that his voice would definitely attract Lung Chen's men. I'll just stand here and wait. Tell your master that I'll only wait for 10 minutes. Don't waste such a good opportunity. Cherish it. Su-yun continued to speak loudly. His voice reverberated in every corner of the dockyard. As long as Lung Chen's men were there, they would definitely be able to hear him. The people hiding in the shadows all broke out in cold sweat for Su-yun. If Lung Chen suddenly made a move, he could easily take Su-yun's life. Time waits for no one. It's already been a minute. Don't miss this opportunity. It won't come again if you miss it. Su-yun's mental state was still relatively good. Just like that, Su-yun muttered to himself for a full 10 minutes. Su-yun felt that this was more than enough time. If Lung Chen still didn't show up, it could only mean that his guess was wrong, or that Lung Chen had been watching him talk to himself like a monkey making a fool of himself. Time's up. Since you don't cherish it, then forget it. Su-yun finally said. I'm the one you want. The people you caught don't know anything. Even if they know, they definitely won't submit to tyranny. Finally, just as Su-yun was about to turn and leave, someone spoke. Su-yun, the one Hell King wants isn't you. Su-yun stopped and turned around. He smiled faintly and said, I was wondering who it was. Yang Yi, are your injuries better? With the ghost doctor by your side, I think you shouldn't have any major problems, right? Thanks to you, I'm really fine. Yang Yi was the first to walk out from the darkness. Following closely behind him were Huang Yu and Peng Juanda. Of course, there were definitely not only the three of them here. There were 6 other people, all of them infamous super experts in the underground world. Chu Lian and Zhen Liangchao rolling Qi Qianji, Geng Chang and Ban Yueshan. When Chu Lian saw Su-yun, he said coldly, You're the rumored famous Captain Yanlong, right? You really can't judge a book by its cover. Hee, it seems like Hell King values me. He arranged so many experts to welcome me. Su-yun said, Why didn't he come out personally to welcome me? Could it be that Bao Tianxiao injured him too badly? Huang Yu snorted heavily. Su-yun, stop pretending. Let your people come out. We know very well that you can't come alone. With so many special forces elites, they wouldn't be at ease with you coming alone, right? Su-yun frowned. I'm here to talk to your master. You don't have the right to challenge me. Unfortunately, I'm here on behalf of Hell King. Huang Yu said, I'll give you 1 minute. Tell me your conditions. Let them go. It's my turn. Su-yun said, I know what Lung Chen wants, but they don't. You've profited greatly from this deal. Of course, if you think you can capture me alive, you can try. I knew you didn't come alone. Yang Yi said, but Captain Yanlong is so loyal. Don't you think it's not worth it? The 4 people you want to exchange for have already betrayed you. We can't believe that you have the guts to stay in Xingkai Hotel. Su-yun's face changed color. The people hiding in the dark were also stunned. Longwei's people actually did such a shameful thing. Also, I'll tell you a piece of good news. Peng Juanda said lightly, Fortunately, you didn't kill me that day. I had the chance to heal Hell King's injuries as soon as possible. Although he hasn't fully recovered yet, he's definitely not someone you can deal with. Also, he's already gone to the hotel personally. This was a real bolt from the blue. This is what your people said. You will definitely come back to save them. So our guess is not wrong at all. Yang Yi said, Yanlong, tell your people to stop hiding. It's time to end this, right? Bastard. At this moment, Su-yun didn't want to continue fighting. If Lung Chen went to Xingkai Hotel, what about Guogua? Now they didn't have anyone who could fight beside Little Dongbei. Hoping that Little Dongbei could fight against Lung Chen was simply wishful thinking. There was no chance of winning at all. Whoosh! A cold light cut through the night sky. A sharp hidden weapon directly pierced between Su-yun's eyebrows. When Su-yun came back to his senses, it was already too late to dodge. With a bang, a coin bounced off the sharp knife and saved Su-yun's life. Lin Gu had no choice but to act. He quickly jumped to Su-yun's side. Brother, quickly go back to the hotel. It'll be too late if we're late. Chou Yun has already gone. She is definitely no match for Lung Chen. Su-yun's rationality quickly defeated his inner hesitation. Now that the fire was burning his eyebrows, he didn't have time to waste. Without saying anything more, Su-yun turned around and left. You want to leave? It's not that easy. Yang Yi sneered. Pluto asked us to wait for you here. He wants you to stay here and wait for him to come back to meet you. Do you really think our people are just decorations? Go. When Yang Yi's group of 9 people wanted to surround Su Yun with numbers, Hua Leitang and Emperor Yuanqing also jumped out with their people. Together with Lin Gu, there were 9 of them. Yang Yi was obviously a little surprised. Because they didn't know about the existence of Emperor Yuanqing's group, they underestimated the strength of Su Yun's group. Yanlong, go quickly. Leave this to us. Emperor Yuanqing roared. You only need to protect the people you want to protect. I will definitely bring Gong Jiuxiao and the other bastards to you personally. Shameless boasting. Ban Yueshan rushed to Emperor Yuanqing with a ferocious face. Let me see what you can do. Chapter 713. The shipyard was located in a remote area, about 20 kilometers away from the city. When Su Yun left the shipyard and arrived at the parking lot, Cho Yun had already left in a car. Su Yun jumped into a car without hesitation. He didn't know when Lung Chun had arrived at the Xingkai Hotel, nor did he know if he could make it in time. But as long as there was a glimmer of hope, he wouldn't give up so easily. The car was like a mad steel monster, roaring as it charged onto the main road. Su Yun's mind was filled with worry, but he had already suppressed his anger. The betrayal of Long Wei's people was unexpected. If something really happened to Guogua, he wouldn't let the 4 bastards off. They didn't deserve to be part of the Dragon Brigade. They didn't deserve to be the most iron-blooded man in Huaxia. Lung Chen came to the Xingkai Hotel with only 1 person. He didn't think that Su Yun would be able to stop him from taking the Feng family's girl away. But reality proved that he had been too careless. No matter how weak Yu Xingbang was, he was still a young man with great potential. He had just broken through a bottleneck and entered the ranks of super experts. But he had been defeated by a chef's apprentice with a kitchen knife. To Lung Chen, this was more of a shock than anything else. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I won't let anyone hurt you. Little Northeast's hands were covered in blood, and his stomach and back were aching. That bastard had put him in a difficult position, but at least he had taken care of him at the most critical moment. In the face of a life-or-death situation, Little Northeast had displayed an unusual calmness and decisiveness. Perhaps only he, who was born in the mountains, had such a natural disposition. Ruan Qingshuang hugged Guogua tightly, while Qin Wan Chang and the others surrounded them. Everyone was pinning their hopes on Little Northeast. If he lost, they would become fish on the chopping block. Lung Chen looked at the little chef in front of him and said with a faint smile, "You are a talent and I need you. I can guarantee you that if you follow me, I will only need a year to make you an expert that everyone will fear. In the future, under my Nether King's command, you will have a position that is second only to me and above tens of thousands. I can let you have the whole world." Little Northeast spat. "You'd better stay away from us, you pervert. You also saw what happened to your little brother. Let me tell you, this is not the first time I have killed someone. Don't force me." "Ha ha ha ha. Brat, you can't possibly think that you can kill me with just that little bit of saber skills in your hands, right? Do you know who I am?" Lung Chen laughed maniacally. "I said those things to you because I think highly of you. I can put you in an important position. Don't miss the opportunity I'm giving you. I don't care who you are. As long as you threaten my friends, I will not go easy on you." Little Northeast's nervousness was obvious, but he did not back down. His courage was commendable. Lung Chen took another step forward. "Forget it, brat. You know you can't beat me. Why do you want to die for them? What can they give you? Head chef? Food and beverage manager? Hotel manager? Ha ha ha. What can I give you? It's a position that everyone in the world dreams of. It's a position that tens of thousands of people look up to. Do you understand?" Little Northeast roared. "I don't understand and I don't want it. I want to become a head chef with my own efforts. That's enough. I don't need you to educate me. I can make my own dreams. Back off. I'll say it one last time, back off." Lung Chen's eyes turned cold. "You can't carve rotten wood. I'll kill you." Little Northeast knew his threats were useless. He had no choice but to raise the boning knife in his hand and stab at Lung Chen's throat. His speed and agility were top-notch, but they were nothing in front of Lung Chen. When the knife was about to pierce through Lung Chen's throat, Lung Chen suddenly reached out and grabbed Little Northeast's wrist. With a twist, Little Northeast's boning knife was pointed at his own face. Everyone broke out in cold sweat. If Little Northeast hadn't quickly controlled his body from leaning forward, the knife would have pierced through his head. I told you, you can't touch me. If you want to live, listen to me obediently. Before I give up on you, follow me obediently. Lung Chen's confidence came from the bottom of his heart. Now tell me, from today onwards, you're under my command. Little Northeast's right wrist was hurting from Lung Chen's grip. He suddenly raised the kitchen knife in his left hand and slashed at Lung Chen. He cursed, "I'm your father." This slash was accompanied by a gust of wind. Even Lung Chen had to take a step back to avoid the blade. At the same time, Lung Chen kicked out and sent Little Northeast flying. He fell heavily on top of Chong and the others. Chong used all his strength to support Little Northeast, so that he wouldn't fall to the ground. Seeing Little Northeast's deformed right wrist, Chong's heart ached. "Little Northeast, are you all right?" Little Northeast's strength was beyond everyone's expectations. He endured the pain in his lower abdomen and stood up. He glared at Lung Chen and exuded a murderous aura. "I'm fine. Before Brother Yin comes back, I won't let him hurt any of you. If I can't do that, I'll be letting Brother Yin down. I really don't know what Su Yin fed you to make you risk your life to protect this bunch of trash." Lung Chen shook his head in disdain. "If I were you, even if I wasn't prepared to surrender, I would leave as soon as possible. This is called playing it safe. What about you? You can't even protect yourself, yet you're still yelling about protecting them. You're too stupid, too stupid. LF** King warn you one more time. Don't educate me. If I do anything wrong, my father will educate me. It's not your place to speak." Little Northeast used his thin body to block in front of everyone again. "But I've known one thing since I was young. A drop of water should be repaid with a gushing spring. Everyone is good to me, so I definitely can't be disloyal." Under Little Northeast's encouragement, Chong Lufeng, Dan Hongning, Kong Zhong, Shanzi, and Dan Jiahao all silently walked behind Little Northeast. At this time they couldn't be cowards. They were all men. Even if they had to die standing. Lung Chen didn't feel threatened at all. These people were just ants to him. He could even kill them with a single finger. There were so many idiots in the world. They would give up their lives for others. "Since you want to die so much, I'll fulfill your wish." Lung Chen stopped admiring Little Northeast. "Before I send you to hell, I'll let you watch your useless brothers go to hell one by one." Chong spat. "I've been scared since I was young. Come on." Lung Chen suddenly attacked. This strength and speed could easily pierce Chong's heart. He wanted to protect Little Northeast and rip out Chong's heart in front of him. He wanted to tell him that he couldn't protect anyone with his skills. Just as Chong closed his eyes and prepared to accept death, the door was kicked open with a bang. Just as Lung Chen was about to enjoy the pleasure of killing, a strong killing intent behind him forced him to withdraw his fist and turn around to block. A tearing pain came from Lung Chen's palm. Cho Yun's full-strength attack was firmly grasped in his palm. "I was wondering who it was. So it's just a cute little fox." Lung Chen suddenly exerted strength in his hand. The Dragon Abyss flexible sword that had been with Cho Yun for many years was broken just like that. Cho Yun was shocked. The Dragon Abyss flexible sword's greatest characteristic was its toughness. However, this toughness was not worth mentioning in front of Lung Chen. Could this be the terrifying strength of an earth-profound realm expert? Looking at Little Northeast's blood-stained hands, she knew that he had made a great contribution. Yu Xingbang's death must have been caused by Little Northeast. "Although I don't have much interest in women, you're different. You have potential. It's just that someone used drugs to seal your mind." Lung Chen said in a low voice. "I also don't want to kill you. I know that you're the most trusted person by Old Man Feng's side. Even if I get the Feng family's little girl, I still need someone who can sincerely help me take care of her. And this person, you're the most suitable. Not only can you take care of her, you can also ensure her safety. If I want, I can even let you take care of my personal physiological needs. I like it." Little Northeast scolded. Stop threatening women. What I despise the most in my life is people who bully women. If you have the guts to shout at me, if you have the strength to come at me, I'm not dead yet. If you don't want me to pull out your tendons and skin you like a wild boar, then think of a way to deal with me first. Little Northeast. Cho Yun suddenly opened her mouth. You've already done enough for everyone. You don't owe us anything. You don't have to give up your life for us. With your strength, you can escape unscathed. I'll hold him back. Hurry up and leave. If we implicate you because of our own matters, then we'll be the ones to blame. Bai Liang's heart twitched. I'm also one of you. What's the point of me running away now? Even if I die, I won't be a coward. Hurry up and leave. Otherwise, there won't be time. Io, how heartwarming. You're already at death's door, yet you're still in the mood to care about others? TSK, TSK, TSK. This isn't the Fox Venerable I've heard of. She's a cold woman who only knows how to work for the Feng family, right? Lung Chen laughed bitterly. Why did you change so much? Looks like Su Yun is really capable. He can change people's nature with him. What a kind and beautiful team. Human nature is good. You think that way because your heart is filled with evil. Wan Qingshuang said sternly. If you don't have human nature, then you're not human. Lung Chen turned around and glared at Wan Qingshuang. What a sharp-tongued woman. I suddenly thought of something interesting. My people might have caught Su Yun by now. Just torturing him might only make him feel physical pain. If I torture you in front of him, I'm sure he'll feel spiritual pain, right? Ha 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 ha. I'm afraid you won't have that chance. Su Yun's voice suddenly came from the door. He descended from the sky like a savior. The aura of a king's return instantly pulled the despairing people back to reality. Chapter 714. Su Yun had never thought that he would take the initiative to fight Lung Chen head-on. However, when he saw so many people on the verge of losing their lives under Lung Chen's tyrannical power, he couldn't care less. There was only one thought in his mind, and that was to kill Lung Chen. Even if Lung Chen was an Earth-profound realm expert who was much stronger than him, Su Yun would not hesitate. As long as it was someone who threatened Guoguo's life, Ruan Qingshuang's life, and everyone else's life, even if it was the Heavenly Emperor Su Yun, he wouldn't give face. Lung Chen wanted to kill everyone and take Guoguo away. This had clearly crossed Su Yun's bottom line. This was something that Su Yun couldn't tolerate. He definitely wouldn't let this happen. Not to mention that Lung Chen was the most notorious Nether King of the 7 kings. Even if he was the strongest of the 3 kings, he wouldn't hesitate to charge forward. This wasn't just a matter of victory or defeat. Lung Chen didn't expect Su Yun to suddenly make a move. He had never doubted his strength as an Earth-profound realm expert. Even if he didn't make a move, it was enough to deter any expert who was still in the transcendent realm. However, Su Yun's attack didn't have the slightest bit of fear. That kind of fearless aura forced Lung Chen to block with his fist. As an expert who was an entire level higher than his opponent, Lung Chen had enough confidence to resist Su Yun's full-strength attack. Although Lung Chen hadn't directly fought with Su Yun, his subordinate Yang Yi had. Yang Yi had the strength of a transcendent realm expert at the 5th stage, but he still lost. However, it wasn't a complete loss. It was clear that Su Yun was at least at the 6th stage, and he couldn't be higher than the 7th stage. Lung Chen had enough confidence to know his enemy. Although that old fox Bao Tianxia had used poison on him at a critical moment, and that soul-snatching palm had almost shattered his heart, he was lucky that he had true qi protecting his body. Otherwise, he might not have been able to get up. Peng Juanda's medical skills were definitely not for show. After 3 days of recovery, Lung Chen's injuries had basically stabilized. At least, he believed that Su Yun didn't have the strength to hurt him. The 2 fists collided, and the pressure that burst out made it hard for everyone to breathe. Even Cho Yun and little Dongbei were unable to resist the pressures of their lives. Lung Chen didn't think that Su Yun's fist would be so powerful. Just as he was about to turn his fist into a palm, Su Yun's body suddenly leaned forward. Gathering strength under his feet, he unleashed another burst of strength, directly blocking the attack with his arm. Lung Chen wanted to pull his body away so that he could have more space to exert his strength. However, Su Yun's body was squeezed together, and every time he came close, he brought with him a majestic force. Su Yun made use of every opportunity to attack, not leaving any space for Lung Chen. His fists, shoulders, and every part of his body seemed to have become his weapon of attack. As the saying goes, using one's will to guide one's qi, and using one's qi to destroy one's strength. The 3 plates and 6 points combined into one, creating a majestic aura. The entire body was the eyes, and the entire body was the hands. Su Yun was sticking to him, shouldering him, squeezing him, leaning against him, inserting needles whenever there was a gap, drilling through it whenever there was a gap. Lung Chen couldn't help but be shocked. 8 extremities fist. Literature had taiji to calm the world. Martial arts had 8 extremities to stabilize the universe. Everyone in the underground world knew that Lung Chen's current status was all due to his primordial chaos palm. Those who practiced martial arts knew that it was better to take 10 punches than 1 palm. That was because punches were superficial, while palms were deep. In a battle between experts, superficial wounds were nothing. The truly fatal ones were internal injuries. However, if there wasn't a certain amount of space and distance, the power of the palm couldn't be displayed. This was the reason why Su Yun still used 8 extremities fist, even though he knew that a fist injury was inferior to a palm injury. 8 extremities fist belonged to the category of short-range fighting, and its movements were extremely fierce. In terms of fighting techniques, it emphasized on taking every inch of the attack and using brute force. Although it wasn't enough to kill Lung Chen, it was enough to give him the upper hand. After 10 moves, Su Yun suddenly seized the opportunity. After suppressing Lung Chen's palm wind with his fists, he suddenly shrugged his shoulders and met it head-on. The majestic impact caused Lung Chen's heart and lungs to surge. His feet actually loosened, and he took a step back. "Looks like your injuries aren't light," Su Yun sneered. Before he could confirm whether Lung Chen really had internal injuries, he still had some reservations. Even if he died together with Lung Chen, Su Yun still didn't have the confidence to take the life of an expert at the profound world realm. Before he could confirm that he could take care of Lung Chen, Su Yun definitely wouldn't take the risk. He was very clear that if he lost, everyone's hope would be gone as well. But now, Lung Chen's internal injuries were definitely more serious than Su Yun had imagined. At least from Su Yun's point of view, it was so. No matter how good Peng Juanda's medical skills were, he could only treat the symptoms and not the root cause. Internal injuries needed to be treated by the body, and external treatment was only superficial. Lung Chen was also very clear about this point, but he didn't think that Su Yun would actually use 8 extremities fist. Using a fist that he knew would be disadvantageous against a palm strike, was actually able to gain the upper hand. The majestic fist energy of 8 extremities fist was indeed the best way to destroy Lung Chen's superficial defense. Su Yun did it. "Su Yun, I really underestimated you. When you fought with Yang Yi, you didn't use your full strength," Lung Chen coldly said. "With your strength, your state of mind has already begun to reach perfection. Although you haven't broken through the bottleneck of the Grandmaster realm, you have the strength of a 9th-order expert. I have to admit that your previous disguise was too good." Su Yun shook his head. "Your subordinates have already threatened our safety. I don't have the time to hide my strength." That day when Su Yun fought with Yang Yi, he definitely didn't hide his strength. It was only because he was distracted by everyone's safety. If Su Yun had known that Little Northeast was in the room and could take care of everything, he would have already taken Yang Yi's head. Perhaps Huang Yu and Peng Juanda wouldn't have been able to escape. If that was the case, without Peng Juanda, Lung Chen would have already fled back to Hell King Island to recuperate. "Su Yun, I know that you are very confident right now. I also admit that I am injured, but you better understand that although I have internal injuries, I still have the strength to kill you. If you want to hurt me, you will have to take the risk of perishing together with me," Lung Chen indifferently said. "Instead of fighting with me, it would be better for you to cooperate with me. I know you are not willing to be mediocre. That place no longer belongs to you. You are no longer the Yen Long of the past. Come to my side. I can give you what you want." Take your people with you, and I can give you a position above tens of thousands of people. When Chang heard this, he cursed out loud. Are you delusional? Are you imagining yourself as the president? You say that you can give him a position above tens of thousands of people? Lung Chen disdainfully looked back at Chang. Do you think that just anyone can enter my eyes? Trash like you, even if you beg me, I won't accept you. However, for Su Yun's face, I will give you a chance. Hell King Island's back garden really does need a few handymen. Handyman your grandpa? Chang's words were clearly reckless. If Lung Chen wanted to take his life, it would be as easy as flipping his hand. Just as Lung Chen's evil thoughts rose, Su Yun sternly shouted, I'm afraid that now is not the time for you to be distracted. Lung Chen, with your level, you don't seem like an earth-profound realm expert. Humph, with such a small injury, you are afraid of even dealing with me. What qualifications do you have to be one of the three kings? You are not qualified to replace Mao Bo's position after his death. Lung Chen hated hearing people talk about this matter the most. Su Yun obviously knew this, so he needed to use this to anger Lung Chen. I am not qualified? Could it be that the dead old man Zhang is qualified? Lung Chen was not easy to deal with. He retorted. I know that I am not qualified, but at least I am not stupid enough to play with my life. Old man Zhang is much more stupid than I am. Didn't he die in the end? Su Yun tried his best to calm down. At this time, whoever got angry first would be the loser. Since you are not willing to cooperate with me, then let me send you to hell to meet old man Zhang. Lung Chen grasped the fleeting opportunity and sent out a palm strike towards Su Yun's chest. Su Yun reacted quickly. He activated the true qi in his body and blocked Lung Chen's fatal attack. Su Yun definitely did not want to taste the taste of the mixed yuan palm. This was not something to be trifled with. Even if Lung Chen's internal injuries had not healed, if he used all his strength, Su Yun would die at worst. If he was lucky, he would be bedridden for 3 years. This was without a doubt. Although Su Yun's reaction was fast, Lung Chen was also closing in on him. Lung Chen was very clear that he still had the upper hand in the situation. If Su Yun continued to use the powerful Baji fist to deal with him, his internal injuries would be triggered again by the excessive explosive power. If that happened, he would easily fall into a disadvantageous situation. No wonder old man Zhang adopted you. It turns out that you are as ignorant as he is. Lung Chen continued to provoke Su Yun's patience. He had to anger Su Yun and make Su Yun reveal a flaw. Has anyone ever told you that old man Zhang deserved to die? He should have died long ago, because people like him do not deserve to be above us 7 kings. What bullshit 5 wanderers. They should have died long ago. Su Yun had been resisting the urge to listen to Lung Chen's nonsense, but when Lung Chen mentioned the 5 wanderers, he was still stunned. In Su Yun's memory, when he was very young, when he did not even have a clear memory of Zhang Taisui, he once asked Zhang Taisui a question. Old man, if you are my godfather, then who is my real father? Your real father? Ha ha ha, your real father is a big shot. Even if I tell you now, you won't understand. Zhang Caiji smiled brightly at that time. Some people say that he is one of the 5 wanderers, but many people think that with his identity, he is qualified to be one of the 3 kings. What are the 5 wanderers? What are the 3 kings? The young Su Yun had no idea about these things at all. Zhang Caiji shook his head and said, there are some things that you will naturally understand when you grow up. You are still young. Haha, don't think too much. Before I send you to become a disciple, you have to enjoy your childhood. Su Yun could not remember the rest. He did not remember enjoying his childhood at all. He seemed to have spent his childhood in the Dragon Brigade. He only knew that when Zhang Taisui handed him over to Wang Yi, it was called becoming a disciple. From that day onwards, Wang Yi was his master, and he was responsible for teaching him. Although the memory only lasted for an instant, in that instant, Lung Chen's palm wind had already closed in on Su Yun. Su Yun had no room to dodge. Other than enduring the attack, he had to fight back. The palm energy of the mixed essence palm was like a sharp blade that directly pierced through Su Yun's chest. At the same time, Su Yun's fists were like meteors, his eyes were like lightning, his waist was like a snake, and his feet were like drills. Just as Lung Chen closed in on him, he threw out 3 consecutive punches. The upper punch was cloudy, the middle punch was poked, and the bottom punch was buried. Both of their bodies were sent flying backwards like kites with their strings cut. Su Yun's body crashed heavily into Cho Yun's body. Lung Chen also crashed into the wall with a clang before coming to a stop. Chapter 7:15. Of course, Su Yun wasn't the only one who was injured. Lung Chen wasn't any better. His heart meridian, which had already been injured by Bao Tianxia, was hit again by Su Yun's powerful 8 extremities fist. His heart meridian, which hadn't been stabilized, was severely injured again. In comparison, neither of them had the advantage. However, with Lung Chen's strength, his ability to resist attacks was naturally stronger than Su Yun's. After all, experts of the Grandmaster realm, and above all had a perfect state of mind. Naturally, experts of the profound world realm didn't need to do it deliberately. The true qi in their bodies would transform into earth qi to protect their bodies. Kill him and we'll win. Su Yun was still gasping for breath, but the force of the primeval chaos palm had caused too much internal damage to Su Yun. It was impossible for Su Yun to get up and face Lung Chen again, but Lung Chen was still a threat to them. He had done his best, and the hope of survival could only be placed on Cho Yen and little Dongbei. The only thing Su Yun was sure of was that Lung Chen's situation was not much better than his. However, Lung Chen unexpectedly stood up and sneered at everything in front of him. You can't win. You'll never win. Su Yun, you're too naive. I gave you a chance, but you didn't want it. Now don't blame me for being ruthless. There's nothing I can't get. No one can stop me from becoming an emperor. No one can. Cho Yun and little Dongbei both stood in front of Su Yun. They knew very well that with their strength, even if Lung Chen was seriously injured, it would be very difficult for them to kill him. The gap between them couldn't be closed just because of his injuries. Cho Yun wasn't afraid of death, but she didn't dare to take the risk. She and little Dongbei were the last line of defense here. They couldn't bring themselves to destroy it. Unorthodox methods can never be the right way. You're already an expert of the profound world realm. Naturally, you know better than us that the strength of a forced state of mind isn't real strength. Su Yun said, if you really want to become an emperor of the underground world, you should turn back early. Me? You don't have the right. Lung Chen said, think about yourself. Back then, you were having a hard time even facing Green Ghost. What about after you broke through to the state of mind of a super expert? Your strength seems to have reached the 9 heavens. Even my #1 general, Yang Yi, is no match for you. What kind of genius do you think you are? Ha 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 ha. If it wasn't for her, would you be able to do it? I admit that I can't do it. But I definitely won't do it on purpose. Su Yun said coldly, I'm different from you. I will never allow this secret to cause chaos in the underground world. Do you think I will? Lung Chen retorted. Stop finding excuses for your selfishness. Everything will be peaceful after I kill you all today. Other than me, no one else will know about this shocking secret. You can die in peace. As soon as he finished speaking, Lung Chen moved as fast as lightning. Without even thinking, Little Northeast picked up a boning knife and went forward to stop him. However, Lung Chen, who was full of hostility, did not take him seriously at all. He easily broke Little Northeast's wrist and threw him to the side. They were no match for him at all. Ling Chen, if you don't want to be killed by tens of thousands of people, stop right now. When Gu Zueren's stern voice came into the room, Su Yun suspected that he was dreaming. It felt like he was hallucinating after he had fainted. Su Yun tried to get up, but the intense pain from his heart made him unable to exert any strength. The taste of Lung Chen's mixed essence palm was definitely more powerful than Su Yun had imagined. To put it bluntly, if Lung Chen had not been injured by Bao Tianxia, this palm would have been enough to take his life. Lung Chen turned around when he heard the voice. His heart that had been hanging in the air calmed down again. I was wondering who it was. So it's the famous clairvoyant. What wind blew you here? Don't tell me you want a share of the loot? As long as you're willing to work for me, I don't mind. Wishful thinking, Gu Zueren said angrily. I'm warning you, leave this place immediately. I know you're not afraid of offending me, but you should know the consequences of offending my brother. This was definitely a fatal threat to Lung Chen. Gu Zueren's strength was nothing to be afraid of, but his brother was the founder of the Hunter Academy, Gu Magpie World. It was rumored that the strongest of the 7 kings was the Power King, who had reached the 4th level of the Earth Profound Realm many years ago. It might be even higher now, but no one had verified it. Lung Chen, I'll remind you again. If you dare to touch Su Yun, you will not only offend Gu Magpie World alone. Gu Zueren continued to sternly say, Wine Sword Immortal Xian Yuanji will definitely not let you go. You should know that they are all stronger than you. If you still want to live, stop right now. Lung Chen was really shocked. Su Yun, this brat's backer, was really strong. Xian Yuanji was the Sword King of the 7 kings, and his strength was also at the 3rd level of the Earth Profound Realm. Any one of these 2 people was enough to completely destroy him. Although he had already reached the Earth Profound Realm, he was only at the 1st level. He didn't have the strength to fight against those experts. Forget it. If you die here today, who would know that all of this was done by me, Lung Chen? Lung Chen remained unmoved. As long as I silence all the witnesses, there won't be any problems. Gu Zueren raised his head and laughed a few times. Ha ha ha, you didn't think that I would be stupid enough to come here alone, did you? If my disciple doesn't see me in 3 hours, he will directly go to the Hunter Academy to look for Gu Magpie World. At that time, it will be too late for you to regret. You should know how strong you are. How can you fight against the entire Hunter Academy with just the people of your Hell King Island? Dongfang Fan, Tang Yiping, Yi Yuan, which one of them doesn't have the strength to do anything on your Hell King Island? I advise you to think clearly about what you want to do now. Maybe Gu Magpie World doesn't even need to do it himself. The 8 great instructors of the Hunter Academy are enough to separate your head from your body. Lung Chen fell into silence. These people were definitely not easy to deal with. Among the 7 kings, only Gu Magpie Jie had so many Grandmaster Realm experts under his command. Lung Chen didn't understand how Gu Magpie Jie managed to get so many Grandmaster Realm experts to stay by his side. At least he didn't have the ability to do so. 3 to 5 Master Realm experts were enough to make an Earth Profound Realm expert difficult to deal with. But Gu Magpie World's 8 great instructors were all Master Realm experts. Especially Huntress Dongfang Fan, Lone Wolf Tang Yiping, and Crocodile Yi Yuan. These 3 people were all at the peak of the Master Realm. Maybe Wine Sword Immortal will punish you on the spot before Gu Magpie World makes a move. You should know the relationship between Zhang Taisui and Xian Yuanji. Gu Zueren continued. And you might not know one thing, but Lin Gu, who has always been by Su Yun's side, is evil King Lu Xuanji's beloved disciple. You offended so many people at the same time. Aren't you afraid of dying without a burial place? How is this possible? Just these few brats could involve so many people behind them. Lung Chen's heart had never wavered like this before. Power King Gu Magpie World, Sword King Xian Yuanji, and Evil King Lu Xuanji. These 3 people completely represented the peak of the 7 kings' strength. Not to mention that he couldn't afford to offend them. Even if he could unite the other kings, he would still be no match for them. I suddenly remembered that Poison King Wu Qiuzi is Su Yun's sworn brother. Unless you're crazy, you wouldn't want to offend so many people at the same time. Gu Zueren's words completely shattered Lung Chen's confidence. It was impossible for him to offend 4 of the 7 kings at the same time by himself. Other than these 4 people, Metal King Bao Tianxia had already broken off his relationship with him. Lung Chen didn't know that Bao Tianxia had already died at the hands of Su Yun, so the only one left was the Ghost King. And the Ghost King's relationship with him wasn't good either. After all, Green Ghost was a traitor under the Ghost King's tutelage. And the most important point was that the Ghost King was a Japanese. Even if Lung Chen didn't have any bottom line or morals, he still wouldn't be willing to cooperate with the Japanese. It was an insult to him. Su Yun, who was in a semi-conscious state, was quite shocked. So the vicious immortal doctor was also one of the 7 kings, the Poison King. This world was really crazy. He had so many fierce people around him, but they all kept a low profile. The vicious immortal doctor was like this, and so was Xian Yuanji. They all hid their strength and lived in seclusion. The best way to cultivate was to stand aloof from worldly affairs. Lung Chun, you know very well that we can't do anything to you. But you should also know that if you make a move against any of us here, your end will be even more miserable than ours. Gu Zueran sneered. It's better to avoid trouble. If you think clearly, then scram back to your Hell King Island to wash up and sleep. Lung Chun suppressed the killing intent in his heart and coldly glared at Gu Zueran. Old swindler, I definitely won't let you off. You better remember what I said today. As long as the Green Hills are there, there's no need to worry about firewood. Lung Chun definitely wouldn't take the risk of becoming the enemy of all the kings in the world. If he got what he wanted today, but died at the hands of others tomorrow, then wouldn't everything he did be reaped by others? This was absolutely impossible. My life is cheap. If you want to take it away, you can do so at any time. Gu Zueran didn't have the slightest bit of fear. But if you dare to hurt them, I definitely won't let you off easily. You better remember what I said today. Lung Chun disdainfully said. Threatening me? Then we'll see. After Lung Chun threw down these words, he directly turned around and left. That kind of unwillingness that came from the bottom of his heart, perhaps only he knew what it felt like. But Lung Chun definitely didn't doubt his choice. He believed that as long as he patiently waited, there would still be opportunities. If he acted rashly, then the gains would not make up for the losses. When Lung Chun's footsteps were far away, Little Northeast let out a cry and sat down on the ground. That kind of pressure from an earth-profound realm expert made it hard for him to breathe, but he still faced the pressure and confronted Lung Chun. He had already done something that was beyond everyone's expectations. Hurry and carry him to the bed, his injuries are too heavy. Gu Zueran didn't have the heart to care about Lung Chun's matter at all. Right now he was only concerned about Su Yun's situation. Su Yun opened his eyes and hazily saw Gu Zueran's silhouette. He softly said, We can't let Lung Chun leave. He's too big of a threat. If I had the ability to kill him, I wouldn't waste so much time talking to him. Gu Zueran said, Even you can barely hurt him. Who else here can be his opponent? Don't ever underestimate an earth-profound realm expert. When your heart reaches perfection one day and your true energy transforms into earthly fiend chi, you'll understand what I'm saying now. Cho Yun couldn't help but nod and admit, Su Yun, we can't kill him. Senior Gu already did his best to let him leave. He won't let this go. Su Yun said, Definitely not. Then you have to hold on even more. Gu Zueran was a bit anxious. Who can help him circulate his chi and stabilize his heart? Is there anyone who knows medicine? Guogua suddenly burrowed out of Ruan Qingxuang's embrace. I know where Dad's medicine bag is. I'll go get it. At this moment, Ruan Qingxuang's heart was burning with anxiety. She didn't know what she could do to help at all. If only Senior Wu was here, how good would that be? Qin Wan'er's phone suddenly rang. After she picked it up, she passed on the good news to Su Yun before Su Yun fainted. It's Lin Gu calling. They've already dealt with the people at the dock factory. The police have already arranged for people to clean up the scene. I need to go back to the police station. You must take care of yourself. Su Yun nodded, indicating that Qin Wan should go do her own things. Right now, Su Yun only wanted to sleep. His head was dizzy and he couldn't even see the faces of the people in front of him clearly. At the last moment of his consciousness, he only remembered that Little Northeast, Chang, and the others carried him to the bed. Guogua kept shouting at him, Wake up, wake up, wake up. Chapter 7:16. Lung Chun forced himself to give up the victory in front of him for a greater victory in the future. Sooner or later, he would get the person he wanted. Sooner or later, he would have the power to look down on all the heroes. When that time came, he would kill all those who had caused him to lose everything today. Whether it was Xian Yuanji, Wu Qiuzi, Lu Xuanji, or the ancient magpie world, he would kill them all. Lung Chen's heart pulse was very unstable due to the sudden increase in his anger. He couldn't control the anger in his heart. He needed to vent, and the best target for him to vent his anger was the 4 Special Forces members who had been captured. Lung Chen wanted to vent all of his anger on those 4 bastards. Only then could he vent the anger in his heart. However, the cruelty of reality made Lung Chen realize that he had lost. He had lost completely. When he returned to the dock factory again, he had lost everything. The hostages he controlled were nowhere to be seen. Even his 9 most capable subordinates were nowhere to be found. It was as if they had all evaporated into thin air. The veins on Lung Chen's forehead bulged. He swore that he would not let Su Yun have a good ending. Since you're so ruthless, don't blame me for being ruthless. With this secret in your hands, you're not afraid that no one will find trouble for me. From now on, none of us will have any peace. Lin Guo and the others had put in a lot of effort to resolve this battle. Both sides were evenly matched, but their advantage was the tacit understanding between the Special Forces members. Compared to opponents who were more suitable for fighting alone, they used their tacit understanding to gradually gain the upper hand. Then they adjusted their opponents according to the principle of restraint. Once this was done, even if both sides were evenly matched, victory and defeat were easily determined. Especially after experiencing the situation where Long Wei and the others were being controlled, and not knowing whether they were dead or alive, they did not hold back at all. They seized the opportunity to kill. After Lin Ge twisted Huang Yu's neck, the situation became completely one-sided. After dealing with the 9 people present, Han Zhan quickly found the place where Gong Jiuxiao and the others were being held. Then, Hua Leitang informed the Shenzhen police to send reinforcements. Lin Gu immediately called Qin Waner. Firstly, he wanted to confirm the safety of the hotel staff. Secondly, he wanted to report the situation at the scene. After learning that Su Yun was injured, Lin Gu quickly left and rushed to the hotel. Originally, he did not want to be involved in the matter with the police. The news of Su Yun's injury even made Lin Gu forget to properly teach the 4 bastards who had committed such a shameless act of betrayal. After an unknown amount of time, Su Yun finally opened his eyes. When that wave of exhaustion hit him, he had no resistance at all. But what surprised Su Yun was that when he opened his eyes again, he had never felt so relaxed before. His injuries didn't seem to have brought him any serious consequences. On the contrary, it actually helped him to a certain extent. What a miracle, Gu Zueran said lightly. Only then did Su Yun come back to his senses. Everyone was gathered by his bedside. Ruan Qingxuang and Guoguo were guarding him on both sides. Little Dongbei and Chang were all standing by the wall and waiting. Lin Guo and Chou Yun heaved a heavy sigh of relief. The people from the Special Forces also seemed to have removed a huge burden from their hearts. The people from the Special Forces were no strangers to Gu Zueran. Tianfeng said excitedly, "Old Gu, what's going on? Didn't you say that as long as my boss can wake up on his own, it would be great news?" "Yes, it's good news. He's fine." Gu Zueran felt as if a huge stone had been lifted from his heart. When he was facing off against Lung Chen, his state of mind that was nearing perfection was gathering all of the true qi in his body, so that he could break through the bottleneck of the Master Realm. Coincidentally, after gathering all of the true qi, not only did it block Lung Chen's palm energy, it also used the earth-killing qi contained in Lung Chen's mixed essence palm to break through the bottleneck of the Master Realm. The reason why Su Yun fainted was because all of this happened too suddenly. His state of mind was not ready yet. Now that he has absorbed all the genuine qi in his body, his state of mind is basically complete. Su Yun tried to gather qi and exert force. The feeling of being able to do it with ease was indeed unprecedented. The complete state of mind allowed him to easily control his own qi, and even use it to exert pressure around him. This was definitely not something a super master could do. Su Yun gasped. The whole process of breaking through was so fast that even he himself found it hard to believe. Su Yun knew very well that all this was because of Guoguo. If he wanted to break through to the Supreme Power Realm himself, it would take at least 3 to 5 years, or at most 10 years. "You scared me to death." "Phew." Guoguo pouted and said, "I knew Dad wouldn't let me and Mom become orphans and widows. They all looked so worried that you wouldn't wake up. It really made me break out in a cold sweat for nothing. Don't talk nonsense. It's inauspicious." Ruan Qingxuang said, "Now that he's awake, you should go to sleep, right?" Guoguo shook her head. "No way. Su Yin sat up and stroked Guoguo's hair. I feel alive and well now. There's no problem at all. It's already early in the morning, right? Good children should all go to sleep. Whether you're alive and well or not, you can only know after spending the night with Mom. What you say doesn't count. Guoguo's thoughtless words directly made Ruan Qingshuang blush. Lin Gu and Qianfeng couldn't help but cover their mouths. Chang and the others had to quickly turn their heads and try not to laugh out loud. After all, everyone was in Su Yun's room. Ruan Qingshuang couldn't keep her face. She quickly got up and picked up Guoguo. She blushed and said to Su Yun, "It's good that you're awake. We're relieved. I'll take Guoguo back to sleep first, okay?" Su Yun also nodded a little embarrassedly. "Let's sleep together." Guoguo was still shouting recklessly. Finally, Ruan Qingshuang twisted her ear, and she quickly closed her mouth and begged for mercy. Chou Yun then stood up and said, "Good night." Su Yun benefited from the disaster. Not only was there no problem, but he also broke through to the supreme power realm. Chou Yun was happy for Su Yun from the bottom of her heart. But now she needed to give Su Yun and these men some time to deal with the four guys. Seeing that Chang and little Dongbei didn't intend to leave, Chou Yun turned back and said, "You should also take the time to wash up and sleep. There are still many things to do tomorrow." Yes. Chang and the others tactfully said goodnight to Su Yun and left. They were waiting here for Su Yun to wake up. Now that Su Yun was fine, they had nothing to worry about. After they all left, Su Yun said, "Old Gu, where's your disciple?" "Where can I find a disciple? Just now I was just tricking Lung Chun. Otherwise, that guy would definitely kill all of us." Gu Zueran said, "I also bet my life, but I bet right. Lung Chun is a person who cherishes his life. He won't easily bet his own life with me, so I bet right." What else could Su Yin say? He could only give him a thumbs up. Good, really good. Obviously, Gu Zueran's sudden appearance must have predicted his danger again. Otherwise, he wouldn't have appeared at this time to see him. Su Yin had too many questions to ask right now. What did it mean to divulge heaven's secrets? What did it mean to be punished? He didn't understand why Gu Zueran would reveal heaven's secrets again and again for his sake. Gu Zueran saw the doubt in Su Yun's eyes. Now is not the time to talk about this. There are some things that you still need to take care of. Brother, they brought those 4 people back for you, Lin Ge said. If it wasn't for their mouths being so loose, the hotel wouldn't have caused such a huge mess. While they were talking, Hua Xiaolu had already invited Gong Jiuxiao and the others to Su Yun's room from the next room. It could be seen that everyone was filled with disdain and contempt towards the 4 of them. Gong Jiuxiao and the rest stood in front of Su Yun with bruises all over their faces. It was obvious that they had tacitly agreed to the fact that they had exposed the hotel to Lung Chun. Forget it, everyone was forced to do so. Su Yun didn't know why he chose not to pursue the matter. Perhaps he felt that there was no point in pursuing this matter. Looking at them, it's obvious that they were tortured to get a confession. Qianfeng suddenly sneered. The wounds on their faces weren't caused by Lung Chen's men. Su Yun was slightly taken aback. He didn't quite understand. Han Zhan opened his mouth to explain. We were the ones who did it. And us. Yuan Qingdi's voice was tinged with anger. We can't accept this fact. As members of the Dragon Brigade's Sharp Blade Unit, we won't forgive you for doing such a shameless, despicable thing. Betrayal. This was the biggest taboo of any warrior in the Dragon Brigade. If anyone did such a thing, they would never be able to gain the trust of their brothers for the rest of their lives. This has nothing to do with our leader. It's all my fault. If you're angry, take it out on me, Ma Tingfei said. Qianfeng unceremoniously stomped on Ma Tingfei's back, causing Ma Tingfei to stumble and fall to his knees. However, Ma Tingfei didn't intend to fight back at all. He stood up again. I'll take responsibility for what I've done. Whatever I say, it's up to you. You can punish me if you want. Ying Long, you're the one in charge. You have the right to punish me. I'm not interested in scum. Huo Leitang didn't even look him in the eye. Gong Jiuxiao finally couldn't take it anymore. He's my man. I'm responsible for everything. Our Longwei has wronged everyone, and we know our mistakes. Whether it's punishment now or when we return to the team, we'll accept it without complaint. However, I firmly believe that my men didn't do it on purpose. They were forced to do it. Force my ass, Tianfeng cursed. When we found you, we didn't see any signs of Leng Chen's men torturing you. And you're still saying that it wasn't on purpose? Burning toilet paper in the grave. Are you trying to fool ghosts? Ma Tengfei shook his head vigorously. I really didn't do it on purpose. At that time, we weren't locked together. Leng Chen told me that if I didn't tell you where you were, he would kill all of them. I didn't know that he was lying to me. I thought that since you were all in the hotel, you had the ability to resist them. That's why I said it. I just didn't want anyone to die. Volsh *T. We wouldn't give up on anyone. You know very well that we'll come back to find you. Hua Leitang couldn't help but curse. Gong Jiuxiao angrily rebuked. There's no need to explain anything. A mistake is a mistake. There's no reason for it. It's a fact that we've betrayed you. It's useless to explain so much. You're still stubborn? This is called the upper beam is crooked. The lower beam is crooked. Hua Xiaolu spat. Don't pretend to be righteous. You know best what you're thinking in your hearts. What I look down on the most is a whore who pretends to be chaste. Gong Jiuxiao laughed coldly. You can think whatever you want, as long as I have a clear conscience. You still have a clear conscience? Yuan Qing Emperor said helplessly. Kuang Long, I used to think of you as a man, but now I really look down on you. I said it. This has nothing to do with our leader. It's all because of me. It's all because of my mouth. Ma Tengfei said. I'm the one who said it. I've already admitted it. What else do you want? In the midst of the argument, Su Yun finally spoke. All right. Have you guys had enough? No matter what, I believe that no one in the Dragon Brigade is a coward. Jiao Long must have fallen into Leng Chen's trap. I believe that he didn't do it on purpose. He did it to protect the safety of his brothers. If Leng Chen had tortured him, I believe that he wouldn't have said a word. Everyone was silent. Su Yun's words were like a sharp knife that pierced Gong Jiuxiao's heart. He had been jealous of Su Yun for so many years. He didn't expect that Su Yun would stand up for his men at this time, and under the circumstances that his men had betrayed him. What kind of breadth of mind was this? Leader Yanlong. Ma Tengfei was a man who didn't shed a single tear when he was shot. Now his nose was sour, and his eyes were suddenly filled with tears. Su Yun smiled. Call me Su Yun. I'm not a member of the Dragon Brigade anymore. Even so, I believe that no one in the Dragon Brigade is a despicable person. Pa. Ma Tengfei slapped himself in the face. I'm a bastard. But I really didn't want to betray you. I swear. Su Yun nodded. I believe you. We all believe you. Chapter 717. Su Yun didn't want to pursue this matter. He was worried about something else. You guys should go back and rest. It's getting late. Old Goo Pigeon, you two stay here. I have some things to discuss with you. Tianfeng poured a glass of water for Su Yun and placed it on the bedside table. Boss, I'll be in the room opposite. If you need anything, just call me. I'll be right there. Okay. Rest well. Su Yun nodded. After the others left, Lin Go pulled over a chair for Gu Zueran to sit in while he stood beside Su Yun's bed. No one else was injured besides me, right? Su Yun asked calmly. Gu Zueran nodded, but then shook his head. That little chef seems to have been injured. After Leng Chen left, when I asked him to help carry you to bed, he didn't dare to use his right hand. I think it's very likely that his right hand is fractured. The others are fine. After all, Leng Chen's aura was strong enough that normal people wouldn't have the courage to resist. This is a good thing. At least there weren't any unnecessary sacrifices or meaningless injuries. Su Yun nodded. He was very satisfied with this result. Pigeon, tomorrow, have Chang run an errand and find the best orthopedic doctor in Shenzhen City to take a look at little Dongbei's injuries. You don't have to worry about that. Brother, while you were unconscious, Sister Shuang already told us about this. Chang wants to go out tonight, but I'm afraid there's no one to find him at this time. Linga said, Later, Sister Warner called and said to leave this matter to her. Tomorrow, she'll invite an orthopedic doctor from the police station. Only then did Su-yin relax. His gaze was fixed on Gu-zuerin. After the danger passed, he suddenly found it hard to speak. Old Gu, I owe you another favor. Are you going to settle accounts with me? Then you owe me quite a lot. Gu-zuerin chuckled. He didn't want to be so calculative with Su-yin. If he was so calculative, then they wouldn't be family. If they weren't family, then Gu-zuerin wouldn't have risked his life to get involved with Su-yin. But the more Gu-zuerin was like this, the more uncomfortable Su-yin felt. He didn't know how he could make up for his misunderstanding of Gu-zuerin and his unreasonable venting. I want to make up for it, Su-yin said bluntly. Otherwise, I will feel guilty for the rest of my life. Gu-zuerin laughed. But if I didn't do those things to you, I would feel guilty for the rest of my life. If anything happens to you, how am I going to explain it to the old man in the underworld? As long as you're fine, I'll have a clear conscience when I meet the old master in the afterlife. Su-yin felt a burst of sorrow. What do you mean by revealing the secrets of heaven will shorten one's lifespan? Is there anything that is unavoidable? Su-yin, not everything in this world can be explained clearly, Gu-zuerin said. Many people don't believe in fate and the will of the heavens because they believe in science more. But I, who truly understand the 5 elements, the 8 trigrams and the 9 palaces, know that many things can be determined through fate and the will of the heavens. Everything that I can foresee is related to the heavens. My actions have changed fate and the will of the heavens, so to some extent, I will be punished by the natural world. This is the cycle of cause and effect. Everything is like this. Su-yin shook his head. But I don't believe in some bullshit fate and the will of the heavens. Why? You can change the fate of others, so why can't you change your own fate? Su-yin, you don't understand what I mean. You don't understand me. I'll explain it to you in a simpler way. Every consequence has a reason. If I do what I shouldn't do, I will bear what I shouldn't bear. Gu-zuerin said. Just like the greedy humans now, crazily devouring every drop of the earth, resources, forests, oil, coal. All of this seems to be natural, but in the end, there will always be retribution. Because humans have already planted this cause. So the result must be the result. It can't be changed. After a pause, Gu-zuerin continued. I also can't change the result that I should have. This is the will of the heavens, different from fate. It can't be changed. If humans start to understand how to protect nature, and stop being greedy and wantonly plundering natural resources, they can change their fate. Only when fate changes can the will of the heavens be changed. I changed my fate. I did many things that I shouldn't have done, so my will of the heavens has changed. Gu-zuerin said. Perhaps the heavens wanted me to go to heaven before, but now perhaps only the king of hell welcomes me. Su-yin angrily slammed the table. I don't want to listen to this nonsense, and I don't want to believe in this nonsense. No matter who it is, even if it's the heavens, I won't give face to them. No one can casually do anything to punish you. I won't allow it. Linga stepped forward and motioned Su-yin not to be so agitated. He had just broken through to the guru realm. Although his state of mind was complete, it could not be considered as stable. So he couldn't be too emotional. There are some things that you and I can't change. If you really respect old Gu, calm down and let him finish. Pigeon, you don't have to stop him. I've said what I should say. At least I'm still fated, Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing in front of you like this, right? Gu-zuerin said. You don't have to worry about me. I have at least a few more years to live. Just don't cause me any more trouble. Old Gu, you have to promise me that you'll be fine. Su-yin said. Those messy divine retributions don't exist at all. Gu-zuerin nodded. Yes, maybe it's all nonsense. Ha ha ha, with your blessing, I also hope that those things don't exist. Don't worry, I'm tough. I'm not that weak. Su-yin had never believed in those things, so he was more open-minded about it. Gu-zuerin was the best proof. Su-yin didn't believe in those bullshit divine retributions. If there really was a god, then there wouldn't be so many scum in the world, and there wouldn't be so many evil people living freely in the world. You should be concerned about other things right now, Gu Zueran said. If I had half your strength, I would also dare to challenge him. I don't have that strength, and I don't have that confidence. I can't risk the lives of so many people. If I act rashly and lose, everyone will be doomed. Su Yun, I hope you can understand the choice I've made. Don't blame me. Su Yun shook his head. I can't thank you enough. You made the right choice. It's also thanks to you that Lung Chen was scared away. Oh right, there's something I want to ask you. Go ahead. Gu Zueran nodded. Gu Magpie Jie's relationship with you. Su Yun was puzzled. Gu Zueran smiled and didn't deny it. I'm not making this up. Gu Magpie Jie is my brother, my half-brother. Lin Gu was also surprised to hear this. Not many people in the underground world knew that Gu Magpie Jie, the headmaster of the Hunter Academy, was Gu Zueran's brother. Then can you help me find out if there's a kid with the surname Bu who went to the Hunter Academy these few days? Su Yin asked. He was still worried about Bu Fifan. Even though Bu Fifan had sent a message saying that he was fine, Su Yin still couldn't relax. Gu Zueran shrugged his shoulders. Who is this Bu brat to you? His temperament is quite similar to yours. Although I really want to help you, I'm afraid I really don't have the ability to help you in this matter. Although Gu Magpie Jie is my half-brother, he doesn't acknowledge my existence. It can be said that the relationship between us two brothers has never been good, especially since I haven't even seen him all these years. So, I can only apologize. They say that Gu Magpie Jie's Hunter Academy is hell on earth. Many people die there. Lin Gu said. Bu Fifan is just a child, a blank piece of paper. I'm worried that he won't be able to take it. Su Yun and Lin Gu were worried about the same thing. They didn't know what kind of environment the Hunter Academy was, nor did they know the training procedures, so it was inevitable for them to be worried. Gu Zueran shook his head. Although I don't have much of a relationship with my brother, and he even hates me, I won't say anything bad about him. From what I know, he's definitely not that kind of person. To a certain extent, Gu Zueran is definitely an upright person. If someone described the Hunter Academy as a scary place, I can't help but suspect that it's a rumor. But he's only 13 years old. Su Yun still couldn't accept Bu Fifan's departure with a clear conscience. Gu Zueran asked in return. Then how old were you when you were sent to the Dragon Brigade? Don't underestimate other people's abilities. If you can do it, maybe he can do it better. 13 years old is no longer a child. To a certain extent, as a man, 13 years old should be able to take responsibility. This is a peaceful era. If it was a war era, who would still treat a 13-year-old as a child? What do you think? Su Yun was comforted by Gu Zueran's words. Indeed, 13 years old was already a man. Su Yun believed that even if Yi Fala knew, he would respect Bu Fifan's choice. Bu Fifan's life path should be decided by himself, not by others. Nowadays, all parents plan the same path for their children. Children in their teens face schools and all kinds of interest classes every day, even though it was an inevitable phenomenon in the development of society. However, Bu Fifan was different from ordinary children. Su Yun knew that better than anyone else. Don't worry, if I have the chance to meet the ancient magpie world, I'll definitely ask him to take care of me. Gu Zueran smiled. Although the people I ask him to take care of might suffer more, it's for his own good, isn't it? Hee, but I don't know when I'll meet the ancient magpie world. Ha ha ha, not everyone can go to the Hunter Academy. Su Yun tried to probe a few times, but he didn't ask. Perhaps it was better not to know. You should rest, Gu Zueran said. Gu Zue said, Lung Chen suffered a great loss in Xinjiang this time. He's a smart man. He won't be stupid enough to wait for the special forces to hunt him down. If there's no accident, he'll rush back to his damn island in Southeast Asia. The chance of catching him in Xinjiang is very slim. You can tell that little policewoman not to let the police waste their efforts. Chapter 718. Although Su Yun and the others had confirmed that Lung Chen had already left Xinjiang, and Qin Wan'er did not doubt Su Yun's words, the entire Xinjiang police force still continued to search the city for 3 whole days. They did not let go of any hotel. As long as it was a place to stay overnight, even the various nightclubs were not able to escape this huge baptism of the police force. Kuo Leitang and the others naturally received the order to cooperate with the Xinjiang police force. They were very clear that Leng Chen had already left. If they still insisted on looking for him, they would be fools. Although they agreed, the people from the special forces did not stupidly search everywhere like the police. They were just putting on an act. 3 days passed by quickly. Although Leng Chen's shadow was nowhere to be seen, he was implicated in all kinds of prostitution, gambling, and drug industries. Many star hotels were also ordered to close down for providing special services in disguise. Xinkai Hotel, on the other hand, had already changed the manager of the guest service department. Under Su Yun's request and Ruan Qingshuang's management, they took the initiative to eliminate some of the immoral things, so they were not affected at all. After the police force in Xinjiang cleaned up, Xinkai Hotel's business became unprecedentedly popular. Even if the price increased according to the market, it was still full every day. Ruan Qingshuang also followed the development and proposed a standard set meal based on the medicinal cuisine. Everything seemed so logical. Of course, Ruan Qingshuang did not consider the matter of signing the bill, which would naturally bring some unnecessary trouble in the future. After 3 days, the people from the special forces also returned to the mansion to report. On the surface, everything had returned to normal. Finally, Su Yun also received permission to visit Yi Fala. Qin Wan-er's contribution was not negligible. If not for her guarantee, Su Yun would probably have to wait a long time before he could visit her. Qin Wan-er did so much not only because of Su Yun's face. She saw the change in Yi Fala and felt that everyone had the chance to be forgiven. Especially Yi Fala. After doing so much for the police, it was hard for the police not to thank her. If it wasn't for the fact that she had committed such a heinous crime, it wouldn't have been impossible for her to be released early. Under the personal guidance of Qin Wan-er, Su Yun came to the place where Yi Fala was serving his sentence. The environment was indeed out of his expectations. The police were kind to a person who had made up for his crimes. Yefala wasn't locked up in a cell like the other prisoners. She had a room with a living room and even her own kitchen. She could also surf the internet and watch movies at any time. The environment here is so good that I want to move in. When Yi Fa opened the door, Su Yun's first words were, "Why don't we switch?" Yi Fala was shocked. She couldn't believe her eyes. Su Yun and Qin Weiner were standing in front of her at the same time. As a woman who had been through a lot, Yi Fala quickly accepted this surprise. "This is all thanks to Officer Qin. If she didn't help me apply, I might be fighting with the prison bullies for territory. You've done so much for the police. This is the treatment you deserve," Qin Weiner said faintly. "You two can chat for a while. I'll inform the leaders here. I won't disturb you two." After Qin Wan-er left, Yi Fala asked Su Yun to sit down and poured him a cup of tea. "It's already pretty good to be able to drink Laoshan green tea here. Normally, I wouldn't be willing to serve it to people." "It seems that you often have guests here?" Su Yun smiled. "It's as busy as a marketplace." Yi Fala clicked her tongue and shook her head. "I'm very clear about what you men are thinking about. I didn't expect that I would still have the charm to seduce people even when I'm wearing labor clothes. The leaders of the prison come to visit me every few days. They even do it at night. There was once when his wife called to ask him where he was. He even made up an excuse and said that he was working overtime. Hee, how can I not know what he's thinking?" Su Yun couldn't help but smile bitterly. Charming people are charming no matter what they wear. Didn't someone say that only the beauty of the heart is the true beauty? These words are all self-deceiving. In the eyes of men, a woman's external beauty is better than her internal beauty. I have to admit that these words really make sense. Aha. What you mean is that I'm just a woman who looks beautiful but has a vicious heart. Yi Fala rolled her eyes at Su Yun. "Next time, be careful when you speak in front of a lady." Su Yun smiled embarrassedly. "I didn't say that. I don't know if you had a vicious heart in the past, but at least now, you're definitely not one." After drinking a mouthful of tea, Su Yun sighed. "This Laoshan green tea is definitely the best of the best." It's also given by the leaders to reward you, right? Don't tell me you and the leaders. Scram. Yifala laughed and scolded. I'm not that casual. Even if I was casual, I wouldn't be interested in someone who looks like a wild boar, right? Ha ha ha, don't talk nonsense with me. Let's talk about something serious. Is Fei Fan hard to discipline? Is he still in school? Why didn't you bring him along to see me? Su Yun put down the teacup. He's a good kid. He's not as hard to discipline as you said. I originally wanted to bring him along, but there was a small incident. This time, I came to find you mainly to talk to you about this problem. Yifala's smile disappeared. Fei Fan got into an accident? It can't be considered an accident. It's within my expectations. Su Yun knew that there was nothing to hide. The truth was the truth. He might as well say it directly. He went to the Hunter Academy. Yifala's eyebrows furrowed. Su Yun definitely wouldn't joke about this. She understood Su Yun. Hunter Academy? You introduced him there? Why? Su Yun was a little surprised. Yifala was much calmer than he thought. She didn't show any extreme reactions, but Su Yun could clearly feel the anxiety and uneasiness in her heart. If I had something to do with the Hunter Academy, then I wouldn't be as worried as I am now. He chose it himself. He left secretly. He's been gone for about a week. I've received a message from him saying that everything is fine. Yifala was silent for a while. She did have a lot of emotions that she wanted to vent, but it wasn't rational to vent it on Su Yun. Bufifan was a child with his own thoughts. Yifala definitely believed that he would make such a choice. How did he know about that kind of place? Also, don't you need a referral to enter the Hunter Academy? That's my fault. I accidentally told him about the Hunter Academy. Su Yun said. I thought that he wouldn't take it seriously, but he was very serious. I underestimated his courage. I didn't think that he would really put his thoughts into action. As for the referral, you should know that he likes military weapons. He met a friend on a military forum, and they even called each other master and disciple. You definitely wouldn't think that the master he met was actually a super genius in the weapons industry, Kevin Matthew. Yifala rubbed her temples. This news was obviously not easy for her to digest. Kevin Matthew, the super genius that even their president couldn't convince to work for him, had actually become good friends with Bufifan on the internet? The heavens really played an international joke on him. I'm also very surprised how this kid did it, but that's the truth, Su Yun said. His referral is basically confirmed to be Matthew. Yifala squeezed out a smile. I don't know if I should be happy or worried for him. How many people who went to the Hunter Academy didn't come back alive? He's just a kid. You're wrong. He's not a kid anymore, Su Yun said. I made the same mistake as you before. We both thought that he was just a kid. Actually, that's not the case. When you adopted him, he could already survive on his own. At that time, he had already grown into a man, let alone now. He's already grown up. We shouldn't underestimate his ability. Su Yun, if someone else said this to me, I might have already slapped them. Yifala's face was full of a bitter smile. But now, I want to choose to believe you. It's because I believe in you that I entrusted Bufifan to you. No matter what, I hope that you won't disappoint me. Su Yun nodded. I definitely will. I firmly believe that his choice is right. I also hope that he will walk the path that he chose himself, and not the path that we paved for him. Men need to be tempered. No matter what, I hope that he can experience something that others have never experienced before. Only then will he be able to grow faster than others. Yifala took a deep breath. All right, let's not talk about him anymore. I know that you will definitely find a way to contact the Hunter Academy, ensure his safety, and then pass it on to me. Am I right? I promise. Su Yun nodded. He had already started to do this. He didn't need Bufifan to know that he was looking for him, but he had to be sure that he was still alive. That was enough. And in this matter, there was only one person who could help Su Yun, and that was Bufifan's referral, Kevin Matthew. Su Yun had already contacted Kevin Matthew about this problem, but he didn't give him a clear answer. He only gave Su Yun an address in Huaxia. and told Suyun that he would arrive in Huaxia next month. At that time, he would use this address to find him. All Suyun could do was wait for Matthew to bring back news of Bufifan. Of course, Suyun also knew that this information wasn't for free. Kevin Matthew must have something that he needed his help with when he returned to Huaxia. As a condition for exchanging information, Suyun would definitely spare no effort to help him. I believe in you. Yifala smiled. The two chatted for about an hour. Yifala had a lot of thoughts, especially about freedom. She said that if she could get freedom one day, she would be willing to exchange everything for it. This was definitely not an exaggeration. Anyone would do anything to get freedom. Qin Wan'er's arrival interrupted their conversation. Following behind Qin Wan, was a fat man in a prison guard uniform. Suyun didn't hesitate to call him a fat man. He only needed to look at him to be sure that this guy weighed more than 350 pounds. No wonder Yifala said that this guy looked like a wild boar. It really was. A small wild boar in the forest would probably only weigh this much. If this guy was a little fatter, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to call him a wild boar king. I've heard so much about you. You're the famous Mr. Suyun. I've heard so much about you. The wild boar, with a smile, stretched out his right hand very politely. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.